All righty. Well, welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll and have some fun. We are live. We're live everywhere. We're live on the apps. We're live on YouTube. We're ready for you. I hope you're ready for us for the next couple of hours. Let's see if some info happens. Let's see if the Heat finally make that move. Listen, I'm kind of going to be the sourpuss out of all of this. I don't really believe that this move is going to make much of a difference if they make the move for Kyle Lowry. I think what you end up losing and then gaining and you get older, and I'm just not a fan. And, you know, I almost drove off the road. Did Ethan and Ira say that they're going to extend Jimmy Butler after this season?
Yeah, that's been known for a while. And he deserves it.
I'm not.
He's held up his end of the bargain, brother.
He's got 2 more years, bro. You don't know what that wear and tear for the next 2 years, what you're going to do, that you're going to live out that extension.
He's playing the best basketball of his career right now.
I know he's playing great basketball. I get it. I understand it. Don't understand an extension. I don't understand an extension, but whatever, you know. Maybe there'll be so much more cap space with the new TV deals coming in, which are supposed to be, you know, obviously the new NBA and the new NFL. The NFL deals are going to be even sicker than they were already, and then they'll get their crowds back at some point for the NBA, it's next season. For the NFL, it'll be this season, because by the time the NFL rolls around, we'll be with full stadiums already at that point, because I know here at Inter Miami, I think by July, we're with full stadiums already. Yeah. Well, you know what it'll be, Tito? It'll be, we were just talking about this with the guys from Dangerous Minds Brewing that are here, and we're just talking about this. Tito, you want to go to a stadium? You want to watch a game? You want to go to a concert?
Get the vaccine.
You want to go in a restaurant? You want to go maybe even to a club? You got to show me your COVID card. Show me that you got your vaccines. And if you got your vaccine, you're going to be able to get on that plane and travel, because that's what's going to end up happening. You will not be able to enjoy certain areas because they're going to limit you if you have not been vaccinated. So in November, when I go to Rockville in Daytona, you going to Rockville with me? I need a producer.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You're not much into rock, huh?
Nah, not really. If the Strokes are there, maybe I'll go.
I don't know if the Strokes are there. I don't think so. I don't think the Strokes will be there. I think the Strokes are a little too mellow. I love the Strokes, by the way. Don't get me wrong. But not, for Rockville, I don't think you'll get something like the Strokes. That's more Metallica and Foo Fighters and, you know, Greta Van Fleet, and, you know, you're going to get bands like that is what you're going to get at Rockville. And you're going to get to meet them, too, at the same time, because obviously we'll be at the media tent. Still not interested. Okay. I think we'll have to, like, call an audible. Although, you know, maybe Sean. Sean might be the one that might be willing to rock out, I think. I think Sean might be the guy that we take up to Daytona and have some fun with us. Okay, you'll be the draft guy, and then Sean will be the rock guy. Is that cool? Is that how we do it? Okay. But I mean, if I go to Rockville, they're gonna ask me, "Hey, where's your card?" You know, we're actually getting ours laminated. I am, because I got to put it in my wallet. You know what's gonna happen? It's gonna fade. It's gonna get all screwed up. All that stuff, you got to pull it out, pull it back in, you know. So you gotta laminate it. You know what I mean? Protect it, so that way, because that's an important piece of paper nowadays. That thing is gold, man. So yeah, let's get it done. All right, so we'll find out what's going on. Report says the Cavs are trading JaVale McGee to the Nuggets. That's one of the deals that supposedly is coming across the wire. I have not checked here. I saw Woj there, Victor Oladipo and the Denver Nuggets. That's what Kendrick says is the best fit. We'll find out. Is there anything that I've missed there, Tito? Has there been a trade? Because I was kind of busy in a meeting before the show.
Vucevic to the Chicago Bulls. Orlando gets back 2 first-rounders and Wendell Carter Jr.
Wow. Okay.
And then
he's a good player.
He is a good player.
I that guy I would like here.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been a nice piece. I don't
He's
know.
still
I don't
pretty
know
young,
about giving
right?
up.
Is he like maybe 29 or 30, right? He's not that old, right? Or is he older than that? I wonder.
30 years old.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think he was too old.
Yeah, he's a good player. 2 first-rounders for a team that typically hangs around the lottery a lot, like Chicago, is a risky proposition, but I guess they're trying to make this push for the next 2 years.
Well, they've had all those picks and they do nothing with it anyways, right? So the Magic move,
right, and they
Vucevic,
have Levine. They have Levine, who's growing into a star. So
they move Vucevic and the Frenchman Fournier, and then
Aaron Gordon's next.
Aaron Gordon's next. Okay, all right. So Boston serious talks to acquire Orlando guard Evan Fournier for 2 second-round picks. That's what they say.
Interesting
That's what Woj says.
Gordon is technically a 4 that the Heat could use. I don't know if that's a fit, but technically a 4 that the Heat could use.
Yeah, and by the way, the deal is Vucevic, Farik Aminu for Otto Porter, Wendell Carter Jr., and 2 first-round picks. There you go. Okay? So those are the deals so far that have happened. We're going to talk to Kurt Heelan at 12:30 from NBC Sports, and we'll get all of the skinny on what's going on in the NBA with Kurt. He does an excellent job. Denver, by the way, got JaVale McGee for Isaiah Hartenstein and 2 future protected second-round picks. Okay? A protected second-round pick. Like what? Protected like in the first 10 picks of the second round or something? Is that what that means or something? It's some kind of protection, right? It's got to be some kind of protection in the early part of the second round. Boy, you are that's some desperate ass stuff.
Protected
if you're protecting
second round pick, yeah.
It's like, or maybe it's if you finish under the 50th pick.
Yeah, they can. I think that can.
You
flip
have to
into
pass
a
it
first,
to the next season,
or
and
it can flip to a first potentially. I think there's stipulations
okay.
that can do that.
Okay.
If you finish in like the playoffs or whatnot, it can flip to a first round versus if you miss the playoffs, it stays in the second or something like that.
Right, exactly. I'm with you there. All right, so you got that going on. We will keep you in tune and everything. Now, whether Miami makes the trade or not, what is a good season for this team? And this is the interesting twist about all of this, because we're the assessment that I think logically you make now with the Miami Heat is the assessment you would have made in the bubble. The bubble was the aberration. They weren't that good, but they played that good. In that situation, in that moment, they were mentally and physically tougher than Boston, tougher than Milwaukee. Now, you got to remember, Milwaukee is a team that is learning how to be a contender. Even though they've got a superstar, everybody else around them has got to learn how to play like. I look at the DiVincenzo kid now with Milwaukee. Watch him play every night. Dude's balling. And so you had to get the right pieces around them. And so now we'll find out if Miami can be better than Milwaukee in this. They're certainly going to be better than Boston. I mean, dude, they should fire the head coach, who I think is a good coach. But yesterday, he drew up the final play for Daniel Theis, whatever, to shoot the three-pointer.
It's Daniel Theis.
Theis, tomato, Seiler, whatever, bro. So Daniel Theis, right? Theis. Okay, Daniel Theis hanging from the rearview mirror. I know he shoots 35% from three-point line. I get it. But that's not the guy I want taking a winning shot. I saw that and it's like, okay, so is that what was drawn up? That's the guy? I'm like, no wonder Boston has been just in this tailspin into the abyss. So Miami will be better than Boston because Boston is completely broken. Okay? After everything that Danny Ainge has acquired and traded for and hoard, he's hoarding picks and players like I hoard V-Chain. Okay? Been loading up on that V-Chain here during the dump. Anyway, so it's just one of those deals where Miami probably will go with what we thought they would be last year, a second-round exit. This is a team that's good enough to win in the first round. That's about it. And if they lose in the first round, this would be a terrible season for them. If they get to the second round, that's kind of what they are. I don't think that Miami even should get to the Eastern Conference Finals, with or without Kyle Lowry. Understand this. I don't believe there's going to be much of a difference once you minus what you lost and you add what you're going to add. Because you could tell me all you want about LaMarcus Aldridge. This isn't the LaMarcus Aldridge that Pat Riley wanted to trade for 10 years ago. This is a guy that has to play limited minutes. You're not going to wear out his body by playing him 35 minutes. You can do that with Olynyk. You can play him 35 minutes a game with no problem. So you're going to go older there, okay? To me, I just kind of feel this is fool's gold. And listen, it's not that I'm convinced with all the young guys Miami has. I have no idea what Precious is going to be. I like Duncan's shooting ability, but he's got to find a way to make it consistent. But he's so young that it's understandable that he had a great season and then he kind of took a step back. You know what I mean? Baker Mayfield had a great rookie year. Then the NFL kind of figured him out a little bit. You know, don't let him move around too much. Don't let him go to his right. And then he struggled. Then he came back this season and playing chess. He adjusted and had a better season again. This happens. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the kid in with the Chargers, what's the kid's name? Herbert, right?
Justin Herbert, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Herbert struggles this year, because NFL teams figure it out and okay, look, this is what they're doing. This is what he likes to do. This is what he doesn't like to do. Let's force him to do this. And I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Herbert takes a step back and then he's got to adjust and then bounce back. This happens all the time. So Duncan can bounce back, but will he? We don't know. Because mentally we don't know how tough this kid is. Now, he's pretty tough considering where he came from and what he's done. So we got to give him some time. Kendrick Nunn is as inconsistent as it gets. Don't know if he can find consistency. I love Tyler Hero's game, but guess what? Tyler was great in his rookie year, and guess what? He has sucked this year. He just hasn't been consistent. But he's a baby. So next year, the kid builds his body, something he really couldn't do in the offseason because he was probably stuck in a hotel or his condo and just banging his beautiful babe, you know, which that's exercise in itself, but it's not basketball. That's shooting, but not the kind of shooting that you need. Okay? So I get it that we don't know where these young guys are going, but I know what you're acquiring. And what you're acquiring is already past its expiration date. And now what you're acquiring is a time bomb. Because once you start dealing with players in their mid-30s, you are dealing with time bombs. You don't know when that body's going to break down, wear out, run out of gas, mentally, physically, you just don't know.
Do you think there's any offer the Heat make where they come out a winner in this scenario, or is it just acquiring Lowry in any way?
No. There is a scenario, and that's if you go get me a young player that you acquire.
I'm just saying Lowry.
No.
Yeah.
You're talking about
if it's like Duncan, Nunn, and Kelly Olynyk.
Right. Yes.
I don't see that as a loss.
Well, you lose with Olynyk. Because at the
moment,
you're not replacing Olynyk.
Yeah, theoretically, you're going to have to replace him with LMA, which doesn't mean you improve. It probably you just kind of stay the same there at that level.
You may take a step back actually.
Potentially, yeah. I mean,
you may take a step back actually because he can't play as many minutes. You talk about Aldridge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just And I got to tell you something. LaMarcus Aldridge has always been, for me, kind of in my book, a little soft and not necessarily that. Let me ask you something. What great moments do you remember from LaMarcus Aldridge?
Well, I mean,
what clutch moments
he was
do you
a great
remember?
player for the Blazers, just never got the opportunity because they were in a crappy market.
And what moments do you remember from him?
I mean,
you know what I mean? It's just
the Blazers were in
but you remember
purgatory West Coast style.
You still remember stuff from Dame Lillard, bro?
Right. I mean, that's
Okay?
after he left.
C.J. McCullough has had more moments.
No. All right.
Okay?
No. That's not true.
No, it is true.
No.
I've seen him take over
Do you
games.
you don't think that he could get an improved, not an improved, but a good product out of LaMarcus Aldridge? You don't think that
I think they'll get solid production
okay.
out of him.
All right. So then that's all you need. You're getting him on a buyout. You're not giving up anything for him.
Part-time. It's not,
Okay.
And again, he's always been kind of soft in my eyes. When we talk about heat toughness, sorry, I don't see it in LaMarcus Aldridge. Breaking news. Let's go to the breaking news sports desk with Tito Benach.
Not a heat update, so just going to give you the warning there, but the Orlando Magic are progressing on a trade to send Aaron Gordon to the Denver Nuggets.
Ooh.
That's a good deal for the Nuggets.
What are they sending back?
Nothing official yet on that, but that's
first round picks will be involved. Guaranteed.
But for the Nuggets, that doesn't matter. They're in their window.
Right. Exactly. It'll be crappy first round picks, but yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Good player for them. He can bang.
Yeah. That would be cool. So that's interesting there. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side for the next segment. It'll be a short one, too, before we go to Kurt Heelan at the bottom of the hour. You want to get in, 888-441-4623. The text line, 844-416-8123. Don't forget that Sundays, Onside Radio continues to provide you the kind of sports talk South Florida fans desire. Every Sunday at 7 a.m., tune in to the Sunday Sports Drop with Jazz Santana. Catch Jazz every week as he takes her calls and discusses the biggest stories in sports. That's the Sunday Sports Drop, 7 to 9 a.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams.
We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
Take Onside Radio everywhere you go with the MyTuner Radio app. Download the free app and listen to your favorite OnsideRadio.com host. Go to your app store, download MyTuner Radio, and search Onside Radio, South Florida's sports station. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Kurt Heelan, Pro Basketball Talk, is going to join us in the next segment. It is the NBA draft. It's funny how the NBA is at its hottest, at its most interesting, when there's the approaching trading deadline, the postseason, and the offseason. The regular season is the least entertaining, least interesting, and what most people actually don't give a rat's ass about. Okay? Like, those of us that love basketball like me, I watch it. But I know that the average person is like, oh, I'll watch it when they get to the playoffs. Regular season, I'll watch it in the last couple minutes. You know, it's basketball nuts. It's Ira. It's Ethan. It's Tito. It's me. It's Dono. You know, and in Tito and Dono's case, they're just pure degenerates. So they're just like watching the games that they bet on. You know what I mean? But they're watching them. And it's funny how this league gets so much more elevated in the news when it's all about the tabloids. You know what I mean? That's the funny part about it. You know, it really is an absolute trip. And in this case, we got the same thing going on. And right now, the trading deadline's approaching, so everybody is lit about the trading deadline. And is my team in it? And my team trying and this and that? And that's where the headlines take over. And then in the offseason, it's where players are going, who's signing the new big contract, who's getting traded, all the rumors, and this team's breaking up, and there's, you know, drama here, drama there. And it's the offseason is probably maybe the most anticipated part of the NBA season. It's weird. It really is. Because the regular season, listen, unless you talk to somebody that works for the NBA channel, which they can't be objective, but those of us that can be objective and we see what's going on, we know what the hell's going on.
Do you think the NFL would be like have like a similar buzz to it if their trade deadline was similar to the NBA's? Obviously, like it can't be because it's not the same sport. But like if player mobility was a lot more free in the NFL, would you think it would have a similar buzz?
Well, no. The problem is that the NFL season means so much more than the NBA season. I'll give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example before we got to take a break. The Los Angeles Lakers. Are you watching the talk now? There's some breaking news here on SportsCenter. What do we have? Oh, okay, it's the Aaron Gordon thing. So the perfect one is the Lakers right now. Now you got the talking heads on television. You've seen this, right, Tito? Oh, the Lakers are in trouble. And I'm like, seriously, dude, this is what happens with NBA talk during the regular season. They put so much emphasis and drama behind it when there's none? Do you think the Lakers are really in trouble? No, the Lakers will make the playoffs. That's all that matters. So they drop from 4 to 7 or 8 or 6, whatever. You know what happens then? The teams that are 1, 2, and 3 are hating this. Because the Lakers are going to be eliminating the better teams at the beginning of the series now, instead of meeting them towards the end. Their playoffs will get easier as it goes on. Because once you get LeBron and AD back, it's over, dude. Say what you want. Right now, without those two, yes, they're a disaster. But are they in trouble? No. Have you told me that AD and LeBron are out for the year? The cyborg will be back in another week or two because he's a cyborg. But no, let's he has a high ankle sprain, this and that. Bro, it's LeBron James. That guy will come back earlier than he normally does, than any normal human being, because he's not a human being. That guy's a cyborg. But I love these idiots now. Are the Lakers in trouble? I'm sorry. I didn't hear that LeBron James and AD were out for the year. I'm sorry. I must have missed that news. What, did that happen, Tito? Are LeBron and AD out for the year?
No.
Okay. So then the Lakers, how could they be in trouble? And where is the drama in all of this? And the worst thing for the Western Conference is that the Lakers are a lower seed. LeBron already did this in the Eastern Conference. He was like, I don't care about the regular season. I don't care if we're the 4th or 5th seed. We're still going to truck it all the way through the playoffs. And they did. And they're still the best team in the league. When those two guys are healthy, they can elevate everybody else around them to be champions.
Small note, Denver sending out Gary Harris to Orlando.
Very injury prone.
Yeah.
Very injury prone.
Yeah.
I've had Gary on my fantasy teams. Obviously I watch a lot of basketball, and I have stayed away from Gary the last 2 years because of all the injuries that he occurs. And he's a nice player. Don't get me wrong. He can play.
Magic's return is Gary Harris, R.J. Hampton, and a first-round pick. Wow, so the Magic have now acquired 3 first-round picks in dealing all the guys. They're going complete fire sale.
Yes, they are. But do they know how to build?
Right. I mean, they never hit. So
that's the problem.
Jesus Christ.
It's like I don't care what first-rounders you get.
They drafted Mo Bamba.
Who are you? Oh, you're the Orlando Magic. Okay, we're good. Give them all the picks you want. They're not going anywhere. All right, let's take a quick break. Kurt Heelan from Pro Basketball Talk, NBC Sports, is going to join us on the other side. Let's talk a little NBA trading deadline with Kurt Heelan from Pro Basketball Talk.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com. Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dano, you missed.
So Deshaun Watson has sat down with new Texans head coach David Culley. Did he have his teeth in for the interview, David? He's a little older.
Hold on, let me get my dentures in here, Deshaun. Deshaun, hey, just give me a second. We're eating this pineapple here. It's getting in my stuck in my dentures.
Was he watching Murder, She Wrote during the meeting?
Deshaun, it's getting a little late here. It's 7 o'clock. I got to go to bed soon, all right?
Deshaun, it's 4:30. I've got to go to the early bird special.
Deshaun, give me a second. I'm just taking my Metamucil here. If you just give me a second.
I've taken Metamucil before, actually. It works. I'm not even that old.
Man of the Match with Alex Dano, weekdays live on South Florida's home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Square Circle Digest.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here, I'm the man.
Now, wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com. Onside Radio continues to grow. To make your life easier, you can now find your favorite sports station by downloading the MyTuner Radio app and listen to your favorite OnsideRadio.com host or catch a great Inter-Miami CF match. Go to your app store, download MyTuner Radio, and search Onside Radio, the home for the South Florida sports fan. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Some trades coming official now in the NBA trade deadline just across the wire here. Orlando Magic sending Aaron Gordon to the Denver Nuggets. Magic will get a first-round pick, Gary Harris, in return. Also, the Magic sending Nick Vucevic, their all-star center, to the Chicago Bulls. In return, the Magic get 2 first-round picks and center Wendell Carter Jr. Florida Panthers on the ice tonight. They take on the Chicago Blackhawks looking for revenge. Panthers have lost 3 of the last 4, looking to get win number 23. 8 p.m. puck drop for the Panthers. With your Onside Sports Update, I'm Tito Bonacci. Coming up next, it's more of the Onside Zone with the Big O right here, OnsideRadio.com.
The only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Alrighty. It's the NBA trading deadline at 3 o'clock at the end of this show. So I told the NBA, I grabbed Adam Silver, said, yo, Jerky, you need to end the deadline right when my show ends. So that way all the news practically breaks during my show. You got it? He said, cool. So we good. So now we're going to talk to Kurt Heelan from NBC Sports and Pro Basketball Talk. You can follow him on Twitter at Basketball Talk. Kurt, good morning in your case, my man. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. It's been a nice quiet morning around the NBA.
You know, we were just talking in the last segment. The Magic have already acquired 3 first-rounders, but then I said to Tito, my producer, I said, yeah, but it's the Magic. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of like watching, you know, somebody hoard Bitcoin and then you're watching Danny Ainge hoard players and picks and do absolutely nothing with it pretty much. The Magic having all those first-round picks, it just kind of seems like it's a dog chasing his tail on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it's not an organization that naturally you start to trust a lot in this situation. I mean, look, they've set themselves up for a rebuild. They have a really nice young player in Jonathan Isaac, who's unfortunately out for the season. You know, they have Markelle Fultz, who's all right. He's kind of developed into a guy you could play at the point. Not much more. You know, he never developed into what everybody hoped, but he's at least found his shot a little bit. So between those two and all the picks coming in, you're setting yourself up for the rebuild, but now, like you said, now you've got to execute that. It's one thing if Sam Presti he's got like 17 first-round picks over the next 6 years in Oklahoma City, and you're like, yeah, that makes Oklahoma City good. Like, Sam Presti's going to make good picks. He's nailed these before. Yeah, there's just not that track record in Orlando. They're going to have to show us that they can do this. And part of it's luck, man. Some years you just, the lottery gods smile on you and you land somebody, and that's kind of what it comes to.
Yeah. Whether it's Presti or Green over in New Orleans acquiring a bunch, those are the kind of guys that they get ammo, and you're like, they're dangerous. You better watch out. But the Magic, I mean, it's kind of the Three Stooges walking around with a loaded gun. It's just not. It just doesn't really work out that way. Now, Kurt, we got this whole thing with Kyle Lowry now, and whether it's Philly and other teams that are involved and interested, and apparently, some say Kyle really wants to be here because of his relationship with Jimmy and all of that stuff. But I got to tell you something. The more I think about this deal and the more I see Miami giving away and then adding another older body to the team, and, now we had Ira Winderman and Ethan Skolnick on. They do a show on our station called Inside the Paint. And they did it for an hour today, a trading deadline special. And they're talking about how they're going to extend Jimmy after this season. I just kind of fear that this whole youth movement thing is about to get blown up and Riley's going to go to his usual direction of going with older players. And I just think this is the acquiring of Lowry. I know he's a terrific player, but if you're going to let go of 3 other guys in the process, I don't know if it really is going to make that much of a difference. Do you agree or disagree here? Do you think the Lowry acquisition would really elevate the Heat to another area?
Well, first off, I'll throw this out there. I would say that the latest buzz over the last 24 hours, or especially this morning, is Philadelphia is the front runner suddenly. So we'll see where he lands. He's still an all-star level player with championship experience. I think your concern about the age is legitimate. What he would bring is he's just instantly an upgrade over where Goran Dragic is. Like, for 2 years, you're just better now at the point. Maybe 3. He's aged pretty well. He's also 35. So the concern is, how much do you want to pay him beyond this? Because if you're trading for him, you better be. It's probably $25 million a year for the next 2 years to keep him minimum. And I think it's a legitimate concern that you're getting older and you can't surrender Tyler Hero. I'd do it if it was only Duncan, But if you're really genuinely getting that much older, I'm just not sold. Yeah, I don't know how long. You've got really good young players on a younger timeline too. I don't love the idea of just getting older.
Yeah, no, to me, that's my issue with all of this. And, some people say, well, you get rid of Olynyk, but then you bring in Aldridge. But Aldridge can only play half the minutes that Olynyk can play. And he can't really shoot like Olynyk and stretch things out the same way. It's almost like it reminds me of Pacquiao Mayweather, that we got that fight like 8 years after it was supposed to be. It's like you're trading or you're signing LaMarcus Aldridge, a few years too late at this point. It's now you're putting another older guy out there, and so now the taxing of minutes. I just kind of look, when they won in 06, I made this comparison yesterday. Yeah, you had a bunch of old guys, but your best player was a young superstar named Dwayne Wade. They don't have a young superstar to really elevate everything out there. They've got several old guys, and that is not a combination at times. And there's not really that one guy that can really take over a game. I like Jimmy. He has played fantastic, but I keep having this discussion with people. He can score, but he's not really a scorer. That's not really what he is. And putting him in that position, you put yourself at a disadvantage by putting Jimmy in a position where he has to be your scorer. Because in order for him to score, he's got to work so hard at it.
He does. By the way, I'm going to help you out here. Woj just broke this. Bielitsa to Miami from Sacramento. So, yeah, look, nobody really watches him because, well, really, who's watching Sacramento right now?
I'm a fantasy basketball geek, so I watch everybody, including sorry-ass Sacramento. So I like this pick. I like this move.
Actually, that's a nice pickup. We'll see what they give up. It's probably just some picks. That's a nice pickup in terms of just being able to look a guy who can get you some buckets. I'm with you, by the way. Aldridge is just time has passed LaMarcus Aldridge by. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he's a backup stretch 5 at this point. Right. He is just not. He's not that same guy anymore. So his role's limited at this point. And you're right, Jimmy Butler. I think that is the advantage to bringing in someone like Kyle Lowry. By the way, you're right. Jimmy Butler's got to work hard to get his mid-range buckets, and if he's your primary shot creator, it's going to be a challenge. He can do it. But it's he can only carry it for so long, and you need more shot creation. Lowry absolutely brings that. Bielitsa's another shooter, another guy who can play off of it. But ultimately more shot creation is needed from somewhere.
And what you're hearing from and maybe this is why they made the Bielitsa move now, you're probably hearing that Philadelphia, which is the fact, they have better things to offer right now. They have more ammunition than Miami right now to make this move, correct?
Yeah, unless you're going to throw Hero in the mix, probably Philadelphia has the best deal. And it's also, I mean, to be fair, I'm curious how much Lowry is playing into this. I know I had heard, by the way, the same thing you just been talking about, that 48 hours ago. I'd heard he'd prefer to be in Miami and be with Jimmy Butler, but going to Philadelphia is going home, right? Like, it's still going home to a contender where he genuinely opens a window for them, right? Even whatever they end up giving up, if you put him with Embiid and Ben Simmons, and suddenly that's a really nice team in Philadelphia. And at the end of the day, you got to open the window before you can even discuss crawling through it. He at least cracks the window open. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. But it makes some sense. It makes more sense that the Lakers were just always I mean, yeah, he'd make them better, but man, that'd be a weird fit. Just making the deal work is weird.
All right, Kurt, can we stop with the idiots all over television? Because I get it, it's 24 hours, but this crap about, are the Lakers in trouble? Are the Lakers? And it's like, you idiots, they have a cyborg on the team. You think that guy's going to be out for the whole year? If I heard that AD and LeBron are out for the year, then yeah, the Lakers are in trouble. But I actually look at it this way. They're going to come back eventually, so they fall a couple of spots in the playoffs. Who cares? But the teams that are 1, 2, and 3, they're hating freaking life now because they may have to deal with the Lakers in the first round. So what the Lakers will end up doing is knocking off the tougher teams earlier in the rounds, and they'll make their run to the playoffs a lot easier on the back end. I mean, this whole drama, this fake drama that we're creating, or not me, but others, that the Lakers are in trouble. Get the hell out of here. So ridiculous.
No, look, they are not in any trouble. And they are a top-heavy roster. We knew that last year. I mean, it's a top-heavy roster, and if they don't have LeBron and Anthony Davis, they're obviously not going to be very good. They're hoping to steal a couple of games over the next couple of weeks. That said, you're right. They get healthy, and everything's back to normal out there. Anthony Davis I think he showed last year, he's not going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but he might be the best defender in the playoffs. Just the way he can switch positions and protect the rim, and his versatility, sort of like Draymond Green was. That versatility makes you more valuable in the postseason than just being able to Rudy Gobert drop back into the paint, right? It's what makes Bam Adebayo just so incredibly valuable in the playoffs. And LeBron's going to be LeBron. I'm really not worried about LeBron coming back and being, he's 36, but he'll be back and he'll be himself, because how many sprained ankles in Miami did he just play through? He'll be fine.
Yes, please give me a break. And a high ankle sprain for a normal human being might keep him out for 2 months. That dude's not normal, bro. Give me a break. He'll be back within a couple of weeks, and he'll be tearing it up and leading the team probably to another title. Now, Kurt, if the Lowry move is not made, I'm not a fan whatsoever of making a move for Oladipo. Do you feel that's a move, or a slash? If you don't like it, fine. But what's it going to take to trade for Oladipo? How much are they asking for?
Well, they kept asking for a player and a first-round pick. If you can get him for the market simply isn't there for Oladipo. If you can pick him up for, you're going to have to some salary to match there or whatever. But if you can get him for basically a second-round pick or something, then fine. But I'm with you. He's just not post injury. He's just not the same guy. He gets some points. He's not been terribly efficient doing it. He can get you some buckets, but he's a solid NBA player, a quality NBA player. But he's not an answer to any questions anymore. He's just not been that guy since the injury, unfortunately. And I know he's always wanted to be in Miami. I know he lives there in the offseason, works out there. That's great, but if he's also a free agent this summer, I think there's going to be a stark reality between what he thinks he can get and what he's actually going to be offered on the market, because nobody's looking at Victor Oladipo as a cornerstone piece at this point.
By the way, they gave up Chris Silva and Mo Harkless.
Yeah, I saw that.
They gave up absolutely nothing. I mean, Mo Harkless was sitting with a robber's mask, not the regular mask that you and I wear. No. He was wearing a mask, a robber's mask. Without a gun, the guy was stealing money. I mean, he really had it nailed down. He's my hero. Do nothing for a bunch of money. It's a beautiful thing. They gave up absolutely nothing. And then we got another move, Philadelphia. Does this mean Lowry's out? They're acquiring George Hill for Tony Bradley, Terrence Ferguson, and 2 second-round picks. And Austin Rivers goes to OKC as part of the three-way deal. Does that take Lowry out if they add George Hill? No, right?
I don't think so, because I think George Hill becomes your backup. George Hill is just George Hill is an upgrade over Austin Rivers, not a huge one, but a veteran one. Like you know what you're getting with George Hill in the second round. I don't, or second round and beyond, but also just off the bench, he's going to be solid. They don't necessarily trust Austin Rivers in that role, but I don't think it changes the Lowry thing much. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this means that Lowry is headed somewhere else, but I think that's just a move of exchanging some backups.
Kurt, today we have a question that we posed for the entire station, and we kind of put it together. What would you consider a successful Heat season, whether they make this trade or not today? What would be considered a successful Heat season?
That's a really good question. If they could, I would say they needed to return to the conference finals at least. Now, I know they made the finals last year. The East got better. I mean, Joel Embiid stepped up his game. Milwaukee made, I think Drew Holiday makes them a better playoff team. And Brooklyn's, I think Brooklyn went all in. I'm going to let you know. I think so. We'll see how the playoffs shake out and how the rest of today shakes out. But to me, I think if you could get back to the conference finals, it's a sign that this is really steady. And they haven't looked like that team yet. But it's also, as you guys know, between injuries and COVID and everything, it's just been hard for them to get their feet under them and have an idea of I think they're capable of getting back to that level. So we'll see if it comes together for them. But that's conference finals.
All right. Toronto, by the way, has traded Norman Powell to Portland for Gary Trent and Rodney Hood, according to Woj. Now, let me follow up with this, and we'll wrap it up with this. And how things change, my brother. Nick Nurse and Pascal Siakam, are they fighting under the Holyfield and Tyson cart? I'm just wondering, because Nick Nurse obviously was, the golden child of that country a couple years ago when they win the championship. 2 years later, he and the best player on the team pretty much are at odds. What the hell is going on in Toronto, and how does this change everything?
I had people trying to tell me that this wasn't going to be that big a deal, that they're still tight, that they're going to get through this. Maybe they can get past this, but you're right. This is a legitimately concerning sign. Siakam has not been quite the same guy this season. He just hasn't. He has not taken the step forward as the franchise cornerstone that they need him to be. And there's just a lot of tension. I mean, at the time that happened, they'd lost 9 in a row. I mean, I know they won last night, but talk about a team that, I think that where the season dictated, they were not a team looking to blow this thing up earlier in the year, and this recent losing streak kind of nailed it. They've just not been good, and it was time to go all in on whatever's next. And I think that just losing and all that tension that they weren't used to kind of certainly was part of it. We'll see if they can get past it.
Somebody says Nick Nurse would win in a second-round knockout. I don't know. That's I guess I don't know if he's got. Does he have the reach? I mean, I don't know how he's going to get there.
That was my thought. I'm like, Nick Nurse is a tough guy, but Siakam, he has some freakishly long arms, man. It's going to be hard to get inside that guy.
I'm with you all the way. Follow him on Twitter at Basketball Talk. Catch the exceptional work at NBC Sports at Pro Basketball Talk. He is Kurt Helin. Kurt, as always, you're awesome, my brother. Thank you for taking some time on an extremely busy day.
No worries. Take care, buddy.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go, the great Kurt Helin, man. Good stuff, man. Always love having Kurt on.
The NBA waited to do all the trades during that conversation.
I know,
right? Look, that Hill deal, that might be Philly hedging their bet.
That might. Well, he is a backup at this point.
No, Kurt's right. He's a backup, but I don't know how you make that move. I guess you don't trust Maxey, or you're definitely giving away Maxey.
Or no, you're bringing in Lowry, and then you have an experienced backup to him. So that way, if something happens to Lowry, there's an experienced backup that's been there and done it. This tells me that the Lowry move actually might be getting a little closer, because they want leadership there at that spot. So Lowry and George Hill add a ton of leadership and experience there. And that actually becomes a really nice 1-2 punch. Because, see, the Philly window is now.
Well, right, but
they have to make a move for now.
They can't play Lowry and Hill on the same court
No.
together.
Hill will be the backup.
Right, but I guess
Lowry.
Right, so then Lowry's a starter and Simmons is doing what?
Oh, that's
the $1 million question with Simmons always.
That's what
right?
everybody's been talking about, is that now you take the ball out of Simmons' hands and he can't shoot. So then it's going to require if you send Lowry to Philadelphia, Lowry knows he has to play off the ball way more. He will not have control of the ball as much as he did in Toronto, because it doesn't make sense in Philadelphia to do that. Because what makes sense is that Simmons has the ball and is able to distribute it to the shooters and to Embiid. So that's what makes a lot of sense. So I would imagine that if Lowry goes to Philly, maybe that's why also Tito, he wanted to go to Miami. Because he knows if he goes to Miami,
better basketball fit, generally.
Well, he gets to play his game.
Right, yeah, exactly.
It's not so much. He's so talented that he can fit and play off the ball, because, at times he played with DeRozan, and DeRozan would run it a little bit. I know Lowry dominated mostly, but there were times where DeRozan would play a little bit, and then he would play off of DeRozan. Not as much, but in this case, he would have to do it a lot. A lot. It's like Wade having to adjust to LeBron, and then, then I'll play completely off the ball, LeBron, you dominate the ball, which is what made sense at that moment, and Wade was doing the right thing. Crazy stuff. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back for the final segment of hour number 1 right here on OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated, and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening, and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, you missed.
And the top trait they're looking for in a partner is someone that can cook better than them.
Wow.
Yeah. How are you at cooking?
I'm okay. I cook
boy.
all my stuff.
What's your best dish? If I had to say, Marsh, this you're gonna eat in tonight with a girl. All right.
Well, if
And
I'm
you need to
cooking for a
create-
girl,
Yeah, you
then
gotta
I'm
create
not
the meal.
cooking.
4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
At Baptist Health, we are ready.
To serve. To treat.
To safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons.
Advanced medicine.
And multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals.
And new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
Anything that comes our way.
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready
We're ready.
We're ready.
to care for you.
Welcome to OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk.
This is like rock and roll with no music.
Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Time to get in the zone. The Onside Zone.
And look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it. You know what I mean?
The Onside Zone.
He's a liar. And there's nothing new about that. He's full of crap. If you're believing that, I got a bridge in the Keys. It's the one on the right side. Just want you to know, when you're going south, you'll see the smaller bridge on the right. I've got that one for sale if you're interested.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
That's the one boy band that I will say, dude, I'll stand up for Boys to Men every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Love those guys.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The Onside Zone with a big O.
All right. All right, we're ready to rock. It's hour number 2 of the program. The great Tito Bonach is driving the show, putting it all together. One day he'll watch Top Gun, Smokey and the Bandit. Till then, what can we say? You know. By the way, Miami gave nothing up for Bielitsa. He's a shooter, which means maybe that's why they're going to move Duncan or Olynyk or both or something along those lines. That's what you would want with Bielitsa, or you just added another stretch guy. You know, that could also be that you added another shooter. I mean, the team isn't a good shooting team right now. They're not the three-point shooting team. Where are they ranked? Aren't they like in the 20s? Huh, Tito? As a three-point yeah.
Yeah, they're one of the bottom 5 worst.
Yeah, so maybe that's also why Bielitsa is here, is that, you know, he could help. I'll tell you somebody that forecasted this move, okay? You know who I'm going to say?
Who?
Come on. He's filled in a couple times for Alex Dono.
I'm not. I'm blanking. I'm Clay Ferraro.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You don't remember that?
We have Clay Ferraro for tomorrow at 1:30.
Well, Clay nailed it, dude. Clay was one of the, when he was on here, he was talking about Bielitsa all the time. And I agree with him that that's a nice shooter to add to this team. There's no doubt. They gave up nothing, dude. Chris Silva and Mo Harkless. I mean, I don't know, but I want to buy the people at Sacramento a beer. If I ever go out there, I'll bring Vlade Divac a cigarette and a beer. Right? You guys know, do you know what Vlade Divac is? Huh, Tito?
What is that?
He's patient zero. You know what I mean by that?
Wasn't he like the Kobe trade that was like brutally bad?
No, he's worse than that. He is patient zero. Do you know why I call him patient zero?
No.
Because that bastard brought flopping to the NBA. Yeah. That's the dude that started flopping in the NBA. He brought what they do in soccer to the NBA. He was the first flopper in NBA history. After Vlade, it started with it started to grow slowly but surely. It was very unmanly to flop at his time. It was one of those things that people were critical of Vlade, and then anybody else that did it was like a punk move or whatever, but then it's gotten worse and worse and worse because obviously as the players get younger and younger in the generations, it becomes more acceptable to the younger generations. You know what I mean? But that is patient zero right there. That's the dude that started all the flopping in the NBA. So that, to me, that's what he's known for in my eyes. Not just, smoking 10 packs of cigarettes in pregame and then playing. That is also impressive, I got to admit. And I wonder who the hell wanted to play against Vlade and get close to him as he's sweating and just spewing out nicotine all over the place. God, it must have been gross having to deal with him in the post. Ugh. Go out to the three-point line, bro. Keep your space. Ugh. So, yeah, that's what Vladdy's known for in my book. Patient zero, Mr. Flopper number one. But Mo Harkless and Chris Silva. And, I like Chris Silva, actually. Super raw and all that. And he kind of reminded me a little bit of a mini UD. And you were thinking, well, maybe they can develop something like that out of the kid. But, obviously we'll never know. And I wish him the best. But this is a really, really good move. Now, the question is this a precursor to another move that will be made? By the way, in the three-way deal with the Knicks, Terrence Ferguson to New York in the trade. So where Philadelphia acquired George Hill, Tony Bradley and Terrence Ferguson, 2 second-round picks, and Austin Rivers going to OKC, Terrence Ferguson to the New York Knicks in that one. Tito, what do you got?
One team is officially out per Woj of the Kyle Lowry race.
And?
It's the Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay. Wow. So
I think
there
it's
you go.
becoming more of a reality now.
So Kyle Lowry is out. Are the Lakers in? Are the Heat still in? What's going on? Okay. So if that's the case.
We've got one early report of Lowry to Miami, but it's not a reliable person, so I'm not going to even waste my time.
Knicks also send Iggy Brazdeikis to Philadelphia in a three-way deal too, by the way, and part of that whole craziness. And the Sixers send the second-round picks in 2025 and 2026 to the Thunder. That's what it's all about. How about that? Wow. It's crazy. Norman Powell to Portland. So we just continue to wait for these deals, and we'll see what ends up happening, and we'll see if Miami is able to make any other acquisitions. I do love the Bielitsa move. I got to tell you. Where's Clay's on with who tomorrow?
With you.
With us?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be cool. That'll be fun. Okay. I didn't know if it was for me or Dono. Not exactly sure. So that's good. I'm glad we're gonna have him on. What a coinkydink. And we gotta give him love, man. We gotta give him love. Actually, we should go back. Do me a favor, Tito. Go back to his fill-in, okay? And let's get him talking about Bielitsa, and let's use that as his rejoiner tomorrow on the show.
I'll see if I can find it.
Let's give him love, bro. He nailed it, dude.
You got to give me that date.
Yeah, well, Donna will give you the date because he knows the date that he was out. Dates that he was out. I forgot what it was. I know it was on Monday or Tuesday, and it was a few weeks back. Donna will tell you right away. I forgot what it was. But, yeah. So, yeah, check that out. All right. April 5th, Floridians 18 and older can get the vaccine. Awesome. It's good. Man, get the vaccine, folks. Please get the vaccine. Because those of you that fight it, all you're going to do is create more problems for everybody else, and you're going to delay us getting back to normal again because you're going to keep the virus alive, spreading it to each other. That's really what's going to end up happening. So we all got to get vaccinated. We all got to, wash our hands, wear some masks still, make sure we bring that thing down to under 1%, and then that way we could take off our masks and live our lives. It'll be great. That's what Fauci said. Fauci said we just have to bring it down to a minimal number. That way it's not a threat and we can just then go about our lives. Everybody's vaccinated. The virus is a very minimal threat. And then that we can all move on. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but, I'd like to get my life back. But I'm going to follow the rules until we have to, until we can actually really open up and enjoy the world. I once read in life, you ask yourself two questions. Where am I going? Who will go with me? And if you ever get those in the wrong order, you just effed up. All right. Brandon Flood says, I like Bielitsa a lot. Okay. Let's see. What else? It helps in the shooting department, man. That's all I can tell you. Oh, the real patient zero is any actor on my Tia's telenovela. The horrific acting taught us how to fake injuries and survive an alien abduction while cooking menudo. The acting is to blame. A man of 1,000. Those people from Miami Beach just don't get it. Now, how about this? It's not so much the idiots out in South Beach, okay? And you know what? I'm with Toast on this one because I heard him say it this morning that's not all spring breakers that are raised in hell. In fact, I would disagree that most of the people raised in hell aren't spring breakers. They're just idiots that are just out to, create problems. But can you imagine, Tito, you live in Miami Beach, you park your car, then you come out the next morning and it's all messed up because a bunch of morons
That would suck.
were dancing on it and breaking your windshield. I just, really, man? That's what you're going to do? Poor people work hard for their money and their cars. I mean, and in this town, dude, a car is gold. We don't have mass transit. We can't just get in a subway and go wherever the hell we want. We're not that kind of town. The car is everything in South Florida. Absolutely everything. And just those kind of people, I have no patience for that kind of behavior and the lack of, just not caring, being insensitive, not having an awareness, not at least considering your fellow man. Like that's a human being that owns that car and needs that car probably to go to work. And you're messing it all up. Now they've got to go through the insurance and all that. And who knows if some of them didn't have the kind of insurance that would cover that. Then what? I got no problem. I hope the cops in South Beach arrest every one of those jerks. Seriously. It's disgusting, the behavior. Big O, I'm scheduled for my vaccine April 1st. have health problems, so I need it. Good luck, Super V. Good thing is that you're getting the protection, baby. That's what it's all about. A lot of them are out-of-state tourists. Yeah. There's a lot of them, yeah. Remember when South Beach was old people and hookers? I do. I remember. All of me and my boys cared about was chicks and drinks in that order. Yeah. Ian, it's a different world, bro. It's a different world. I partied in Fort Lauderdale many times. We never got on other people's cars and smashed them. We didn't do that. We just got drunk. We just wanted to have fun. We wanted to see wet T-shirt contests and hang out on the beach and play music, go see bands, get laid. That's it, dude. That's all it was. Once in a while, a fight would break out between two guys. Not 10, two guys. People would break it up, and it's over, bro. That's it. Nobody died. Nobody got shot. You rarely ever saw a gun, ever. I'm not telling you that people didn't get a little bit out of control. Of course they got a little bit out of control because it's kids. But not like this. Nothing like this. No freaking way. Not even close. So, yeah, because we weren't out to hurt people. We were out to party. That was the agenda. Let's party. I remember being behind the Yankee Clipper to go see a free Heart concert. I skipped school during spring break. I was in high school then. I was in 12th grade. I'm pretty sure I was maybe I was in 11th. I think I was a junior, actually. Yes, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost now certain I was a junior. And we skipped at Hialeah, went up to the Fort Lauderdale Beach because it was spring break, and Heart was playing a free concert behind the Yankee Clipper out there on the beach. Okay? Worst thing that happened throughout that whole concert was that somebody climbed one of the coconut trees to watch Heart, and somebody hit the dude with a full beer can and knocked him off the tree. It was funny, I gotta say. He didn't get hurt because he landed on sand, you know what I mean? But it was funny as hell because out of nowhere there comes a can flying, and it just hits the guy like on the chest, and he lets go. Because he's hugging the tree, because he had to like kind of hug and crawl up there. And so then the dude had a great shot. I don't know who shot it or who threw it, because you just saw it flying. You're like, oh, pop, boom, down. And then everybody laughing. That's it. That was the worst thing that happened during that Heart concert. By the way, I still have that Heart concert on a cassette tape. I recorded the Heart concert back in those days. A lot of fun. But again, different world, different time, different type of people. It's just the way it is. And they still kicked us all out of Fort Lauderdale. Okay? Having said all that, with the partying and everything else, they still kicked us out. And we weren't doing not half the things that they're doing in South Beach. And yet Fort Lauderdale didn't want any part of it. That's what's going to happen in South Beach. They're not going to want any part of it. They're going to price all these people out. And then and next year, the cops are going to be more than ready for this. And they're going to make it miserable for those people. You'll see. I know how it goes. Daytona Beach, a spring break, 1982, was just a big, drunk love fest. Nothing like this. I'm with you. Daytona is another, I love that place, man. And I can't wait to go in November to Rockfest. I'm sorry, Rockville. Rockfest was here. Rockville in November to Daytona. Go check out the bands. Can't wait. That's gonna be fun, Lisa. If you want to go to Daytona in November for Rockville, I hope Metallica plays 2 nights again, because they're gonna have I think 3 nights or 4 nights, I think. So it's gonna be absolutely amazing. But I'm with you. Daytona's always fun, man. But again, 80s, different time, and what we see now, unfortunately. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll keep you updated on any of the trades going on. We'll keep you updated to see if the Miami Heat make a trade. They have made one already with Bielitsa from Sacramento to Miami for Chris Silva and Mo Harkless. Basically, they gave up nothing. So we'll see what they got left to give up. I got a bunch of other things that I want to talk about here on the program. A football player that I think we should all admire. The situation for Deshaun Watson gets uglier. And there's another example for those of you that may be kind of questioning the process. I got a story that's not directly related to Deshaun Watson, but it is related in another way, and I'll explain that when we come back on the other side. Weeknights, 6 to 7 p.m., you can catch Game Night with Michael Christian. Listen to the show that provides the smorgasbord gamers love and sports fans desire. From breaking sports news to the latest in the gaming culture, catch Game Night with Michael Christian from 6 to 7 p.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
She's kind of a big deal. Some people like to say it's only because of how she looks. She sticks her tongue out a lot. But there's just something about her that makes people do crazy things, like get tattoos of her face, or wait in line for hours just to say hi. Lil Bub is a 2-year-old cat, an Instagram celebrity with a following bigger than some 90s television stars. And it all started because she was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Lil Bub, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Riddle me this, with all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to 2 of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dano, you missed.
I think we need to normalize the nickname Dick again. There used to be a lot of dicks. Now, people think about the male anatomy. I don't know why we can't use Dick as a nickname. There was something the strong, silent type would have the name Dick. Yeah, sure, it was a nickname for Richard, but Richards now will just go by Rich or Richard. Like, nobody goes by Dick anymore. I think we need to normalize Dick.
Man of the Match with Alex Dano from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Bro. You never know. You never know. Very interesting times in this country. Actually, in the world. Especially in the financial world. Anyway, welcome back. 4 words for you. V-Chain, Harmony,
Do it.
and Engine Coin.
Actually, 5 words. You forgot
No,
one.
that's 4.
No, you forgot one more.
What am I saying? What else?
Crypto, bro.
Ah, Crypto Bro, yes. There you go. There you go. But just 3 of them. Oh, Tremolio's there. Tremolio, did you see the article from Deutsche Bank? Bitcoin is now the 3rd largest currency in the world. It passed up the freaking yen. It's the US dollar, the euro, and Bitcoin. It's crazy. Crazy. Oh, you going to Daytona tomorrow? Never been there. Any suggestions? Well, dude, the last time I was in Daytona was Dale Earnhardt when he died. I was there that weekend. I was there for Daytona that weekend. It's, I can't tell you about a specific bar or anything like that, but I'll tell you this, John. It's one of my favorite places to go hang out and just have a good time. So in November, I can't wait to go rock out over at Rockville and then, hit the bars, hit the beach, just walk around. Well, obviously, I'm not going to go in the beach, but, that beach is so notorious because it's, nothing like we deal with up here, down here, because it's such a wide beach there compared to what you've seen down here in South Florida. I mean, hell, they used to race cars on the Daytona Beach. I don't know if you guys know that. They literally had car racing on the beach back in years ago, obviously. But yeah, that's the kind. So I can't tell you specifically to go to this bar or that bar. All I'm going to tell you, John, is you're going to love hanging out there for a couple days and relax and having some fun. Good people there in Daytona, man. I can tell you that. Willie Molina says, I'm in Cartagena. Nice. Lisa says, have you ever been on the Royal Caribbean Rock Legends cruise? Oh, best time ever. I have not, but that sounds like, see, what we need to do is cut a deal with Royal Caribbean so we can broadcast from there, from the Rock Legends boat, and then enjoy the shows, do our show, have some of the musicians on. That's what I need, okay? So if you guys have a hookup, I used to have a hookup with Royal Caribbean. Sadly, my friend passed away, so I no longer have that hookup anymore. And passed away way too young, man. Way too young. I don't know if those of you, if there's some of you out there that have been following me for a long, 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 long time. I used to have a caller, and he used to call at QAM all the time. He would call other people, but he moved away. He was in South Florida for a while, and he always used to start off with Johnny and Kendall. And that's him. Johnny, I became friends with Johnny. He was a listener, and we became friends. And he was working, when we first became friends, he was working at Carnival. And then he moved over to Royal Caribbean. And so, and I was able to, he was on the business end, and we were able to build a relationship. But unfortunately, we lost Johnny way too young a couple of years ago. And for those of you that remember, Johnny and Kendall in the house, that's how he would start his phone call. We still miss him, man. He was an absolutely beautiful human being, and just a sad moment to lose him, and lose him the way they did too, which was just a shame. So yes, let's see. John is asking any suggestions in Daytona going tomorrow? Anybody been there? Okay, so if you guys have any fresh Daytona info for our man John Rouse in the house, pass it on. Oklahoma City now has a projected 34 draft picks over the next 7 years. 17 first-round picks in the next 7 years, and 17 second-round picks in the next 7 years. Okay?
Warriors are apparently looking at Danny Green.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're aren't they like a borderline playoff team?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they need another shooter. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Wow, that's a hell of a stat, dude. Oak City with 17 first-round picks in the next 7 years.
Just hold it at their arena. Why even do it in New York or Chicago? Just do the draft at Chesapeake Energy Arena.
Well, but they may trade like 5 of them for a player. So then they have no picks.
That's what I keep wondering. I should probably look it up now. But, like, if Bradley Beal doesn't have a no-trade clause, like, why not they just start selling Oklahoma City Bradley Beal jerseys now?
Might as well. Lisa says, we've seen everyone there from Sammy Hagar to Blue Oyster Cult, Foreigner, Nancy Wilson, Tommy Shaw. That's awesome. I got to check it out one day. Herman says, my family and I did the Sea Escape tour once in the 90s. And Super Boomshack says, John, the Pier and the Daytona Lagoon. There we go. Willie says, Medellin is Miami in 1995. Okay. You getting laid there in Medellin? Huh? A lot of guys go there to just get some wool. I'm just saying. That's kind of what it. It's kind of like when a buddy of yours calls you, say, "Yeah, I'm in the Philippines." Yeah, why are you there? Why are you going to the Philippines? You know. Why are you going to Medellin? You know? Huh? What are you doing there? Gonna go see the honeys in Colombia? Is that what's going on? 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. The text line 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Happy Thursday, Big O. We are 5 weeks away from tonight for the draft. I'm getting ready to start the countdown, and you guys will have a great draft show in Cleveland. G from Pennsylvania. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I'm going to have a nice meeting about it tomorrow to kind of get everything nailed down. So I like it. A lot of things going on, actually. Let me see. Do I have enough time? No, I do not have enough time because Thor Nystrom is going to join us on the other side. I wanted to get into a situation that I read about and then talk a little bit about the Watson situation, but I'll do that after. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a break. Thor Nystrom does an excellent job for NBC Sports Edge. He is the lead NFL draft writer and college football writer. Thor has been on with us in the past. He does excellent work. Let's talk a little NFL draft with him when we come back. Don't forget, folks, that OnsideRadio.com gives you a ton of options to listen to the station. You can now download free apps from Radio.net, Podbean, Radio FM, Simple Radio, Zeno Radio. Download any of these free apps and listen to your favorite Onside Radio host. If you can't remember the names, go to our website, OnsideRadio.com, and go to the right side. You'll see the links there for all the apps to listen to us. OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect, in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage.
The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Catch a South Florida staple every afternoon as Alex Dano hosts the Man of the Match. Dano covers everything from football to football to MMA. Tune in to one of the most complete sports shows in the country with Man of the Match with Alex Dano from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every weekday, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Heat still reportedly in conversation with the Toronto Raptors for point guard Kyle Lowry. Heat in negotiations with GM Masai Ujiri. Apparently, the Los Angeles Lakers and Los Angeles Clippers have also entered negotiations. Other trades that have gone around the league: Orlando Magic sending out plenty of all-stars. Aaron Gordon to the Denver Nuggets for Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, and a first-rounder. While the Magic also send Nick Vucevic to Chicago. In return, Chicago will send Wendell Carter Jr. and 2 first-round picks to the Magic. Elsewhere around South Florida, Florida Panthers play tonight. They go up against the Chicago Blackhawks. Puck drop slated for 8 p.m. Panthers, losers of their last 3 of 4. And Miami Heat play tonight. They go up against the Blazers at 7 p.m. Heat going as a slight underdog. Your Onside Sports update. I'm Tito Bonacci. Coming up next, it's more of the Onside Zone with the Big O right here, OnsideRadio.com.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Alrighty. Welcome back. We promised you we're going to talk a little NFL draft. Thor Nystrom does an excellent job, NBC Sports Edge, as the lead NFL draft and college writer. You can follow him on Twitter, like I and many others do, at ThorKU. Thor, how you doing, baby? You rocking? You feeling good?
Oh, man, best time of the year. Doing great. How are you?
I am doing exceptional, man. I really can't complain. So let me ask you, when you look at Miami's third pick and you see what they did in free agency, it tells you what direction do you think they're going to go in?
It tells me that they're sticking with Tua, I think. I mean, I don't know if that's what your guys' thought down there is, but earlier, in the process, it seemed like they might pony up for Watson, but it seems, at least at this point, that they're going to build around Tua. And you have a lot of options there at 3. Right now, in the mocks that I'm doing, the live mocks, and when I'm thinking about my own mock, it's always a trade. Right, because and I think it makes sense there because you're going to have the teams ponying up to move up for the quarterbacks. We had Schefter earlier in the process say that he was, take it to the bank. 4 quarterbacks are going to go in the top 7. If there's trades, there might be 4 quarterbacks in the top 4. And I mean, your Miami sitting there, whether it's probably going to be Fields, Lance, assuming that Wilson goes second, but that slot is hugely valuable. So for a team that already has a nice foundation and has a war chest of picks already, you might be able to add to that and still get the guy that you want. Because if you drop down to 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, those receivers that we're talking about, they're going to be there.
Yep.
And there's a shot that even Sewell could be there, depending on the way that things shake out. So you might be able to get a similar guy that you would have taken at 3, but you're going to be able to pick up at least a day 2 pick and probably more to do so.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I love that thinking. And Thor, I've been of that thinking for a while now, that they weren't really going down that road with Watson. If anything, they were going to help drive up the price. But I don't think they were going to really actually make that move because I think this is their plan from the get-go. This is why they came up with this treasure chest of picks, so they can surround their young quarterback and try to win a title before they have to pay the young quarterback, because obviously once you got to pay the quarterback, it then sets limitations to what you can do. And we've watched others already try to take advantage of that window in the quarterback's first contract. And I think that's what they're trying to accomplish, because they know that once you win, as you know, Thor, now you got to start paying people, and you just can't pay everybody and keep everybody.
That's all right. And the cap hit, the difference between, let's just say Tua, since he's the bird in the hand here, you compare his cap hit against Deshaun Watson's here the next 2 or 3 years, fans can start, I guess it would be 4, fans can start to see if it's a $20 million discrepancy, let's just say, or a little bit more. Think of all the players you can fit onto your roster with that cash. It's not a nebulous thing. It's a real thing. It's in reality. And so when you're talking about, we're going to trade multiple first-round picks, multiple day 2 picks, and Tua to go and get Watson, it's not just that the cost is prohibitive and you're hurting your ability to flesh out these other roster spots. The other thing is you're also seeding that, $20+ million in cap room that then can't go forward to improve your roster. So your point's so well taken, and I'm in that same boat too. People see the idea that we're going to stick with Tua and develop him as the risk. I don't. I see trading all that stuff and tying up all that cap room in Deshaun Watson when you've set yourself up so well. I see that as the risk.
Dude, I am so with you on this. And this is kind of boring now because we're agreeing on everything. But anyway, and let me add something too, Thor. I'm sick and tired of the people slamming Tua, because most of us could not make it to work every day after major hip surgery. This sumbitch spent his entire offseason rehabbing, then played NFL football, only to get crushed by Michael Brockers and play really well, throw 2 touchdowns to 1 interception ratio, played well overall. I think the criticism of Tua has been ridiculous. And this year, when they see a stronger, faster, more athletic Tua and a stronger arm, all of that, they're going to go, holy crap, what happened to that last year? And they're not going to realize that the kid was able to work on football this offseason, not just his body. This year he'll work on football and his mind, and he's going to be way ahead to start year 2 because he'll have a real offseason. And I think the people that have gotten off the bandwagon or have been too critical early on, I think they're going to realize that they're dead wrong when this kid goes out there and starts throwing darts all over the place.
You're 100% right. Last year when I did Tua's draft write-up, I was writing in there that the team that takes him probably should not let him see the field in year one. And that didn't have to do with an experience thing because he was NFL ready. It had to do exactly with what you're talking about, that hip injury. The year before, his last year at Alabama, and I said this at the time, he probably should not have been on the field. Like, he was compromised at that time. His mobility was badly compromised. I specifically remember a play in 2019 when they were playing LSU. It was at the beginning of the game, and Tua starts scrambling towards the end zone. He had a free touchdown if it's regular Tua, but he was tentative because of the hip and because, he had a hobbled wheel. And so he sort of, held up there like a couple of yards in, and he ended up fumbling the ball. I don't even know if he was touched. And so it was the sort of thing where he'd been played compromised the year before, and then the injury got bad to the point where then he was out, and then then he went into the draft process. But you're so right. Like the Dolphins played him, in my opinion, ahead of schedule when he was still not 100% healthy. He certainly wasn't during the offseason when he was getting ready. Not only that, I'll add to the point, which is just Tua's the kind of quarterback, and we all knew this coming in. It's pinpoint accuracy. You have the mobility with the pinpoint accuracy, and so like we were confident that either Steve Young, if you wanted to stay with the lefty, or Drew Brees with slightly less accuracy but a little bit more mobility, something like that. Well, the receivers that he has with the Dolphins, they don't fit his game at all. Preston Williams can't get separation, and so it's like when you go back to watching Tua at Alabama, it was hitting all these athletic guys in the intermediate sector right on the hands when they're just screaming across the field right on their hands, and then they can run. That's what he does better than the other quarterbacks, is that intermediate accuracy, hitting them exactly in that perfect spot. It's not an inch off, it's not a centimeter off. It's right on his hands when he's running full bore, and then you got all the plays after the catch. Well, when you got guys like Preston Williams, and I like Parker too, but he's not one of those guys either. He's not a separation guy either. It's a contested catch kind of a thing. That's not the quarterback that Tua is. You got to get him guys that can create just a little bit of separation, because then he's going to put the ball right on their hands when they're running full stride, and that's when you're going to see the ridiculous yak. They need to fix their wide receiver room and then let Tua get a little bit healthy, and then maybe we can start to talk about Tua. But the verdict is far from in on Tua.
Yeah, and what I foresee, Thor, and I don't know if you agree with me, I think the Dolphins will build an offense with a ton of speed. Now, will they sprinkle in a Preston or a Parker? Yeah, but that's for a fade pattern, red zone type of stuff. That you use the size and the length there for something like that. But to have multiple people like that on the field, those days are done. I think you're going to see a lot of speed on the field. So now let me ask you about this guy, because Kyle Pitts is the ultimate freak. And,
yes.
and you got Gesicki already. But
Yep.
if you're the Dolphins and you're in love with Kyle Pitts, you can no longer trade down, correct? The second you trade down to 7, 8, or 9, you lost out on Pitts. He will not be there. If you want Pitts, do you have to take him at 3?
If you want to guarantee yourself Pitts, you're going to have to take him at 3. You can hop down a little bit, and then we're going to be rolling the dice. The good thing about it is if Pitts goes, let's say to the Falcons, right? Like I think that's the earliest he could go is 4. If they ended up staying, let's say they eschew offers for the 4th quarterback. Let's say the Dolphins move down, the 3rd quarterback goes there. Other teams are like, oh, we need to get Lance because then, it's just going to drop off the table. But the Falcons are like, nope, we got to take Pitts. At least if you're the Dolphins, and let's say you've moved into, we're talking like the 7, 8, 9 slot, at least in that scenario, you still give yourself the shot where you're going to either get Chase because, if you're talking 4 quarterbacks plus Pitts, let's just say that's the top 5, Sewell's got to go too, right? So now we're down to 6. And so like one of those, one of the other people is going to drop, whether it's Pitts, Sewell, Jamar Chase, someone's going to be there in that 7, 8, 9 thing. And the Dolphins, we don't know that Chase is going to be wide receiver 1. They could go with two of his former teammates in either Waddle or Devonta Smith. But yeah, I mean, I think if you're dead set on Kyle Pitts, you might have to take him at 3 just because there is a shot the Falcons take him at 4 for sure.
All right, so let me ask you, with the Will Fuller draft pick, with the Will Fuller signing, should Miami stay away from a receiver early in this first round, or do you still think that they should go for a receiver in that first round, or do you like somebody in the 2nd or 3rd that could be a terrific fit?
So if by Miami, I'm bouncing down to 7, 8, 9, and whether it's for me, it would be a 3-man board at that point. It's Pitts, Sewell, Chase, because those guys are so far ahead, and you just figure it out after that. I think Pitts would be a great fit with Gesicki, by the way. You can play Gesicki in line, and then Pitts can play anywhere. You can play him outside. You can play him in the slot. You can play him double tight end. You can put him in the backfield and have him be a lead blocker. Times you want to go I formation near the goal line. You could do all sorts of things with Kyle Pitts. He can literally play anywhere, and he's going to succeed anywhere. And so, he would fulfill the stud receiver thing as well as get a complimentary guy to Gesicki if you're going to go that way. Otherwise, both Chase and Smith, heck, even Waddle, they're really good fits there because you have the number one receiver in Parker, and then you have the speed guy in Fuller. Maybe you prefer the slot guy in Waddle to add even more explosion there, or Chase, the outside guy. Smith would be tremendous. With the other two guys, complementary piece. So whatever way they want to go, I think they're sitting in a really good position. As long as you don't drop out of the top 10, you're going to get a guy in his class that's not only head and shoulders above the guys that he's with, which is my opinion of Chase, Pitts, and Sewell. It's also a thing where it's like you go back a couple years and you might also be putting them in the top of the class if you combine the last 3-4.
Are you out of control if you take Pitts at 3 and Kadarius Toney at 18?
So I'm a little bit lower on Toney. If it was me and I was going to do, you could do Pitts and you could do, for me, it would be Bateman if one of the three guys didn't fall. However, we keep talking about all these different guys that are, locked top 15 guys. There's more locked top 15 guys than there are slots in the top 15. So at 18, you talk about those top 3 receivers. I think there's a shot one could get down there. Remember last year's class, you also had the top 3, which, funny enough, had 2 Alabama kids in it, and Ruggs and Judy, and then CeeDee Lamb as well. Those guys all ended up going a little bit later than we thought. And not only that, the order of them got inverted at the very end, where people thought it was going to be Judy, Lamb, Ruggs, and then, day of the draft, it flips, where it goes Ruggs, Lamb, Judy. And so, I do think, at that 18 spot, if you don't end up taking a receiver, or, even if you take Pitts, you could double up because there conceivably could be one of those top 3 guys there, which would just be larceny.
All right, so Thor Nystrom, by the way, joining us from NBC Sports Edge, lead writer for the NFL Draft and college football. You can follow Thor like I and many others do on Twitter at ThorKU. All right, so we know about Najee Harris. We know about some of the top backs in this draft, Etienne. Give me a sleeper back that's going to go in the second and third rounds. Give me 1 or 2 guys that you like, because I'm not sure Miami will take a running back early, but I'm sure they will take a running back because I actually like what they have at running back, but I like it at number 2, 3, and 4 on the depth chart. I don't think they have a number 1, Thor. I think they need a number 1, and I think they're leaving that slot open for the draft. So if you don't take the obvious guys early on, who's the guys in the second and third rounds that are going to fall down?
So if it's at the top of the second round, I don't think he's going to go further than the top of the second round, but Javonte Williams is my RB1. There is a shot he's going to, filter down there because, there's this perception that 2 guys are ahead of him. That could be a thing where maybe the Dolphins trade down from the 18th spot, or maybe the day 2 pick that potentially you picked up from moving down. You're going to get a second round pick at least if you move from 3 to 7, 8, 9. You might have a pick there where you could take him. If it's a little bit later in day 3, my guy would be Trey Sermon, the kid from Ohio State, former Oklahoma Sooner. Just went absolutely ballistic at the end of the season, for people that watch the Big Ten title game and then the game against Clemson. Unfortunately, he got injured a couple plays into the national title game against Alabama. That could have been a slightly different game, but Sermon does everything, and he has from the jump. His only issue in college is that he got nicked up a little bit, and then at Oklahoma, and Kennedy Brooks. So he ended up getting, where he was looking around for a less sort of crowded spot, and he totally displaced Master Teague, who was a really high recruit there for Ohio State once he got in there. Sermon's a guy that can do everything. It's great contact balance. He breaks a bunch of tackles. I think I comped him to Marshawn Lynch because of this, and that it's the well-rounded game. In addition to that, he's not only very shifty and very hard to take down as a runner, but he's also going to provide you stuff in the passing game as well, which we saw this season. So I like Sermon a lot. If it was a thing where it's like you're talking like, late second round, early third round to mid third round, that's the kind of guy that I would look at, because I think there is a shot he falls into the third round, and I think he's going to be starting in the NFL from day one, assuming he goes to a team that doesn't have an established starter.
Thor, what are you working on NBC Sports Edge, my brother, so draft fans can check you out?
Yeah, so the Dolphins have been looking for offensive line help the last couple of drafts. They popped some last year, so I did offensive tackles this past week. The scouting for them, I come to you from Minneapolis. The Vikings are also always looking for offensive line help, so it's a position that I really like diving into. That dropped on NBC Sports Edge a couple of days ago. Next week, I'm doing interior offensive line, and then we'll just keep going with the positions.
It's a beautiful thing. Follow him on Twitter. If you're a draftnik, he's a must-follow. Thor KU, Thor Nystrom. Thor, as always, my brother, I appreciate you. You dropped the hammer. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, my man.
You got it. Thor Nystrom, man. Good stuff there. Don't forget, folks, as we always tell you a little bit about our station, Onside Radio enters Kai's Corner with Kai Chen Chisholm every day from 10 a.m. to noon. Join Kai as he discusses the biggest stories in South Florida sports. Tune in every day, 10 a.m. to noon for Kai's Corner on the home for South Florida Sports Talk, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
If you missed Inside the Paint with Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman, you missed this.
I like what Indiana did for this reason. Victor Oladipo was sort of acting a little bit like a bitch, right?
Yeah,
He
right.
just was. There
you
was
go.
always something with him.
Right.
Inside the Paint with Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman every Thursday from 10:30 to 11 a.m. Right here, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
To serve. To treat.
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons.
Advanced medicine.
And multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals.
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and ginger.
He was a captain and ginger. Captain and ginger. He was a captain and ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
We back. Final segment of hour number 2. If you want to get in, really simple. It's 888-441-4623. Text line 844-416-8123. We thank Thor Nystrom, as always, for joining us on the program. It is, the Kyle Pitts thing, it becomes so intoxicating for me. You know what I mean? And I just think it's one of those things that it could be like the ultimate mismatch that you can add to an offense. And I think there's so much speed in this draft that you can still get a receiver at 18. Look, man, the Dolphins need several things, okay? And it's hard to fill everything, but they're going to get close to it. And it all depends on what picks you make. And listen, I love Jamar Chase. And I like Devonta Smith, and I like Jalen Waddle a lot. Those receivers, any of those 3 receivers, I think can really make the Dolphins better. There's no doubt in my mind. Now, Thor might be right that maybe one of those 3 does fall to 18. And then you get lucky that Waddle ends up at 18, and you could take Waddle along with Pitts. But that is the bitch. That if you trade out of 3, the positive is that you're not going to fall far from 7, 8, or 9, and you're going to get extra picks in the same draft or the following draft next year, so you can add more draft capital down the line. And remember, you have nothing in the 5th and 6th rounds. So that might be another pick that you might gather up in that draft, so that way there's not so much distance between the 4th and 7th rounds of this draft. But if you want what could be the ultimate nightmare and matchup problem, that's that kid. It's Kyle Pitts, bro. There is nobody in this draft that is more of a matchup nightmare than that guy right there. Okay? He is Waller, bro. He is Darren Waller. Part 2. And I would not complain if they take Pitts at 3. I really would. I know it would hurt because I've told you guys many times over, I'm all for drafting down. I'm a strong believer that if you know how to draft, you'll find players wherever you're at. So if you're at 3 or you're at 7 or 8 or 9, you should find your player. And then whatever extra picks you get down the line, find other players there. I mean, they've already proven it that they can do it, right? They've found good players all throughout the draft in every level of it. First day, second day, third day. And it would be so awesome to have Gesicki and Pitts running down the field and creating all kinds of mismatches and creating hell for everybody out there. All right, let's tell you a little bit about Onside Radio, folks. You can watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio, log on, subscribe, rate, review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, sucker? Yes!
Here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Kai Chen Chisholm.
Gaming company Alienware has recently decided to cut ties with game developer Riot Games 10 months early, per multiple reports this past Tuesday. This comes after sexual assault allegations from former Riot employee Sharon O'Donnell against current CEO Nicolo Laurent. Allegations against Laurent first came to light early on in January when O'Donnell accused Laurent of making sexually suggestive remarks and sued the company. O'Donnell also alleged that Laurent became hostile to her and reduced her work responsibilities, which led to her termination in July after she rejected advance from Laurent. The company has been accused in the past of similar accusations of a quote sexually hostile work environment per CNET and will now be without one of their key sponsors. Currently hosting the 2021 Valorant Champions Tour, it'll be interesting to see if sponsors such as Freaks 4 U Gaming and Sport5 decide to bow out.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio Report.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Time to get in the zone. The Onside Zone.
And look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it. You know what I mean?
The Onside Zone.
He's a liar. And there's nothing new about that. He's full of crap. If you're believing that, I got a bridge in the Keys. It's the one on the right side. Just want you to know, when you're going south, you'll see the smaller bridge on the right. I've got that one for sale if you're interested.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
That's the one boy band that I will say, dude, I'll stand up for Boys to Men every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Love those guys.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The Onside Zone with a big O.
All right. I see Rosendo says, agree with Pitts. We should draft a running back, but my main concern is that we should draft an offensive lineman. And, you know, that's where we walk this fine line. And it's, you can't have everything, and you only have a certain amount of picks. So you've got to make the right picks with all of that. And so then you've got to decide, okay, so if I'm not going to take Penei Sewell, do I take the Christian Darashaw kid at 18 if he's there for me, right? So that would be, like, those are the questions that you got to ask yourself. Rashawn Slater's the other kid from Northwestern. He may not fall to 18. And then if you're going to go with those kind of players at that point, then you've got to then start deciding, okay, wait a minute. So where do we go in the second round? Is there an offensive lineman that's going to fall to us in the second round? Can we actually get somebody there that can help us out and later on in the draft? And so, because you know Sewell's going to go early. You know the Slater kid's going to go early. You know the Darashaw kid is going to go early. So the question is, does Tevin Jenkins, does the Cosme kid, Jalen Mayfield, God, what's the other kid that Renduz, or whatever the kid's name is, Dylan, the North Dakota State kid, whatever, North Dakota State. All of these kind of guys, it's you've got to decide, are they worth that second round pick? Do they have starters potential? Can they man that right side for us? Can they handle athletic people? Because you normally get the best athlete on the left side. So Jackson's going to deal with that. But with Tua being a left-hander and his back is to the right tackle, you wonder if teams will get creative and move. If they have a versatile pass rusher that isn't set on being on one side and you can move him around, then will they move him around to try to then get the backside of Tua and test the right tackle? So I feel that with Tua, whoever you draft at right tackle, he's got to be pretty damn athletic, because it can't be just a guy that's a road grader. You need a guy that's really good with his feet because teams may want to test you by moving around their best pass rusher to that side. And then all of a sudden, now you got a real problem, okay? Because all of a sudden, he's on the left defensive end spot, and you're like, well, wait a minute, he normally plays right. Well, today, you're playing a lefty. So today, he wants to wreak havoc from this side. That's where you got to be careful. So I agree with you. They do need a right tackle or another player that can play tackle or guard like damn it, what's the kid's name now from Leatherwood, Alex Leatherwood from Alabama. There's a kid that Leatherwood will probably go somewhere in that middle to late first round, early second round. And maybe that's the guy you take at 18, at 36, because he can play tackle, he can play guard. All right, you probably want him more at guard, but he can literally play tackle too. He's got the length. The guy's like 6'6", 3 something. So he's a mammoth human being. But this is the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. You can't fill every need possible. You know? Now, maybe Miami feels really comfortable with Hunt at right tackle. And they think he's going to develop just fine, but they wanted to bring in Isaiah to bring in some competition. That's it. Or start, if he could challenge it enough. Obviously, we found out that Isaiah Wilson es un idiota. You know? Unfortunately, Isaiah Wilson is a freaking moron and just, can't, I guess growing up is an issue for him. And he doesn't know that he's like got millions of dollars there waiting for him and he doesn't grab it. The rest of us are working stiffs. The rest of us don't have the ability to get a job that can pay us millions. So we got to maybe fill out a lottery ticket, Here's a young man that the good Lord above blessed him with the kind of talent that he could really set himself up and his family for the rest of his life. And look how he's acting. It's a shame. But Miami does need a lineman. And then it all becomes, well, what's the priority now? The running back, the receiver, the lineman, the pass rusher, right? I didn't get to ask Thor, is he more of the Penn State kid or is he the Tulsa kid, right? Zaven or Micah? Which one is it? And I was interested to see what he thought of those two guys because two guys that fit the Dolphins. I think Zaven Collins fits a little bit more than Micah. I think he can be the better pass rusher and also the better athlete in covering receivers. But that's just me. But it's just it's an interesting dynamic because we could all discuss this and go back and forth. Oh, we need the running back. Oh, we need this, we need that, right? And then when you look at the Dolphins, you're like, well, they got the tackle and they got the receiver, but they didn't get the running back. They got the running back, they got the receiver, but they didn't get the pass rusher. You know what I mean? And so, and maybe you can get it, but you're going to get it later in the draft, in the third and fourth rounds. And then you don't know if you can have that same kind of confidence in those kind of players. Because the first and second rounds are ultimately so sexy that you think they're going to be plug-in players. And I got to tell you, third round, if you're a good GM, you should also find a plug-in player. Some position. I'm not telling you it's got to be a quarterback. That's going to be a lot harder to find in the third round. Not impossible, because Russell Wilson and Joe Montana were found in the third round, right? So it's not impossible, but more often than not, you're going to feel a lot more confident because it's just natural for that first and second round pick. 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Text line 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. 8123 if you want to get in. What would compensation, I think is what you mean, if Dolphins move down 4 spots? Obviously, you'll get the first round pick at number 7.
Future first.
Maybe a future first and a third rounder this year. So 2 firsts and a third.
I don't think you can make that move without getting another first.
Oh, for sure.
They're
getting a quarterback,
right?
bro.
Exactly, yeah. Like if it's for a quarterback, right? Because if it's the third quarterback, maybe that value drops a little. I don't think so, not that much. But if it's for the second best quarterback, like by some miracle the Jets take Penei Sewell or whoever, and Wilson or Fields is there,
right?
You got to get another first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're trading a quarterback, bro. Yeah. That's the problem I had with the Deshaun Watson trade. Not so much giving up a ton of picks, but if you're also giving up the third, they can turn that into more first-round picks. No way, dude. No. That's why I love the position that Chris Greer has put his Dolphins in. It's just a position of leverage in every way, shape, and form. So why would you want to lose leverage at this point? You know what I mean? Doesn't make any sense to me. Stay with it. It's well worth it. So, yeah. Isaiah had Sedano's stock boy written all over him if he wasn't drafted. At this point, I think you're insulting Sedano's stock boys. I think Sedano's stock boys are way more smarter than Isaiah Wilson. Okay? I think the woman that got stuck in the sewers in Broward is smarter than Isaiah Wilson. Did you hear that story, dude? Did you see that story, Tito? Huh?
No, what was that?
A woman, she disappeared a couple of weeks ago. Her boyfriend filed a police report, couldn't find her. Now, she has some mental issues, and she's disappeared in the past. But apparently, this is the report, she went swimming in a canal, and then she found a trap door in that canal. She took that trap door down into the sewer, and she started walking and got lost in the sewers. So she was in the Broward sewer line for 3 weeks, apparently. She says she found a Canada Dry bottle, I think it was, or something like that was sealed, and she drank that to keep her going. So she finally got to the city because she was out west in those canals, and she was able to walk because she was supposedly there for 3 weeks down in the sewers, lost, couldn't get out anywhere. So she finally got to an intersection, and in that intersection, she was screaming from the sewers. Somebody heard her standing on the sidewalk and called the cops. And then they got her out. How about that, dude? That's a hell of a story. Now, I have a hard time believing that she survived 3 weeks in the sewer. I have a hard time believing she slept 3 weeks in a sewer. I have a hard time believing that she didn't pick up all kinds of diseases and crap in the sewer while she's there for 3 weeks. And I don't know how she didn't get sick or all screwed up. How do you live down there for 3 weeks? And there are now homeless people going, where was she? Let me go find out. Let me explore. Because, you know, there are certain cities that have homeless people that live, like, literally under the sewers in a lot of these cities. Close down subways and stuff like that. You're looking it up now, Tito?
Sorry, what?
Did you look it up?
No, I'm monitoring the trade deadline right now. I'm losing my mind.
Is there anything new? Nothing new, because I haven't heard you throw the breaking news sounder.
So, according to Shams, the holdup is the Raptors want the Lakers to include Talen Horton-Tucker, and the Lakers have not. The Raptors want the Heat to include Tyler Hero, and the Heat have not.
I'm sorry. Who told you they would include
Taylor
Taylor
Horton? But they're not giving him up. That's the clear holdup.
I told you that they would give up Kuzma and him, right? Is Kuzma part of it too?
Oh, I haven't seen anything like that. It's Schroeder, Kalen Horton Tucker, and KCP.
Oh, wow. So they went with Schroeder. Wow, Mr. Gold Hair himself.
Brandon Scoop Robinson, who has a spotty track record, is saying that Lowry has been informed that he will be traded within the next 30 minutes. Duncan Robinson is believed to be included in that proposal, but that Miami is currently the favorite. But I don't trust him because anytime he reports a trade, he includes half the league in his trade talks.
Well, Woj just said Toronto is now trading guard Matt Thomas to the Utah Jazz for a future second-round pick. The deal opens up a roster spot
so they can take another person
to take another additional player in the Lowry trade. Raptors continue talking to teams on deals. Within 45 minutes of deadline, Thomas gives the Jazz another in the endless line of three-point shooters on the team, which, again, I got to tell you, man, that Jazz team, that's a scary team in the playoffs. If they can really score, and the defense that they have with Gobert in that paint, that creates a real interesting matchup for anybody that says it. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see.
This is a rush. The trade deadline is so fun.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, it's more interesting than the regular season. It's crazy how all the other stuff that is part of the NBA it ends up being more interesting than the regular season throughout. That's nuts. Super Boom Shack says the homeless have a racket here in Orlando. What do they do in Orlando? I don't know. I have no idea.
What did you want me to look up again?
A Broward woman lives in sewers for 3 weeks or something. You could look it up. Crazy story, dude. Absolutely crazy story. Hard to believe crazy story. Okay?
Woman says she was lost in sewers for weeks. Police do not believe her story.
Yeah, I don't believe it either.
Yeah.
I don't believe it either.
They rescued her in a storm drain on Tuesday morning, and you had to use a ladder and a harness.
The interesting part is in early March, her boyfriend reported her missing to the cops. So if they're rigging this together, that means she had to hide for several weeks, then go into the sewer for a few hours, and then do the act. Okay? So it's weird, because then the boyfriend has to be a part of it. Or is it just flat out? First of all, you go swimming in a canal. Oh,
gross, yeah.
Brother, you can't pay me enough to swim in any canal in South Florida. And I'm not worried about gators. It's just gross. And there's gators. But it's gross. Oh my God. Who would swim in a canal? That tells you, obviously she's known to have some mental issues. You got to have mental issues if you're swimming in a canal in South Florida. I'm sorry. Now, if we're in North Dakota in the mountains and there's a canal, then I probably will swim in it because it's probably super clean and nobody's around in North Dakota. I mean, it'll be cold as hell. But you know what I'm saying. In South Florida, canals, they're gross. How much crap people throw into those canals? Ew. That's disgusting, dude. All right, I got to tell you how the Deshaun Watson case, what's the latest with it, and also a comparison to it, too, that is a little disturbing it's not disturbing, it's educational for some of you out there that I think have misread this whole thing. Every Saturday, by the way, at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Robillard and Red Card Radio from the Premiership to the MLS. Catch up with your favorite team, including our very own Inter Miami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Austin Robillard, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
If you missed 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, you missed.
The things that men will do to their junk blows me away.
It's
like,
idiotic.
People will, Prince Albert's just...
I don't know it.
A Prince Albert? You don't know what a Prince Albert is? Prince Albert is when you have them pierce your manhood through like the, like a giant, just, steel rod. On that note.
4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans. Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio, log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Watch Toast get frustrated with Marsh. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
All right, we're back. We take you, of course, till Tremont, okay? Tree, not two, but Tremont, okay? Clippers and, who was it talking Rondo? Hawks. Clippers and Hawks talking Rondo now. So we'll see what goes on with all these Woj reports and everything else. There we go. Nice job. Rondo, 40 minutes left to the deadline. So we'll see what happens as Woj is now reporting that. Is there anybody more connected than Woj? Guy's impressive, dude. God, just props to him, dude. He's awesome. Awesome. Now, you never sleep. You never, you don't stop and all that. Few years back, I started doing that in the NFL. And I remember, Mandich and all that, they were all broadcasting. And I was at that time at QAM, I was kind of in I was the weekend nights guy, fill in, beat guy, all that. And I was, breaking stories and all that. And I got to tell you something. That's one of those things that it just becomes, wow, it's never ending. And you've got to be on top of it on a consistent basis. And while I don't listen, I've broken many stories over the years. It's not something that I even go after anymore now. If I get one, it's because I run into it. And, I'd just rather focus on being the talk show host, and I'll talk about the changes. Sometimes I'll report them, but I'm not going to chase them down. And it's a constant thing to do what Schefter does and Rap Sheet and all these kind of guys and women, by the way, because Diana Rossini does an excellent job. There's a lot of great women reporters also in our business that work their asses off. But it's never ending, man. You pretty much don't have a life. You have a phone to your ear. And I was like, yeah, this is not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun. Super Boom says, my cousin and I were dumb as teens, used to throw public shopping carts in the canals. Plenty of people did that. He also says, we swam in the canal behind Hialeah Mall. Yeah, but you did it probably 30 years ago when the canals weren't that bad. Now, forget about it. Hell, I used to go Amelia Earhart Park, okay? Before it became Amelia Earhart Park, it was just like a site with trees and forest and all that. And then there's a lake there. And we had a rope that because there was this one tree that kind of went out to the water a little bit. So we were able to put one of those ropes to swing and throw ourselves into the lake. And we used to go, this is early 80s, obviously. But back in the day in Hialeah, we used to then go and hang out over there and go throw ourselves in that lake with the rope and all that stuff. But again, we're talking early 80s. Whole different world. Today's shirt is brought to you by us. Solo los duros. It's a only the strong. It was a shirt theme last year for Inter Miami. So that's what it is. Only the strong, baby. Only the strong. Sometimes I fish in the canal behind Hialeah Mall, and there's always someone yelling at me from under that little bridge where homeless people sleep. Okay. What? Why? But this is you're not still fishing there, are you? I'm sorry, but I think you're gonna grow a third ear if you eat a fish from a canal.
You'd be surprised the amount of people that I see fishing
I know.
in like Dadeland canals and what are you catching there?
Dude, I think Channing Crowder fishes in those canals.
I mean, he probably catches them with his bare hands.
Well, that too, probably. Knowing Crowder, yes.
Yeah, but
probably does. But
I mean,
you
there's Doral canals. There's Doral Canal. What are you catching there?
Whatever kind of fish it is, I don't want to know anything about it. It probably glows in the dark. It probably has 8 eyes. And you're gonna end up with 8 eyes when you eat it, or you're gonna end up with radiation or something. I want nothing to do with it. Super Boom Shack says peacock bass. Sorry, brother, you can't pay me enough. I could never fish in any kind of a canal. There's no way. So I was telling you about the Deshaun Watson case. Okay, and I know I'm running out of time here, but for this segment too. So the Deshaun Watson case has obviously taken a turn that has been pretty damn ugly, and at this point they're up now to 16 lawsuits. Okay, I should check to see if there's any new lawsuits that have been added to it since I checked this morning. Have you checked at all, Tito, if there's been any extra lawsuits added?
I have not. I believe the last number I saw was that it could go up to 24 or something.
Okay, I think so far it's 16. 24 are there are complaints, but 16 are official right now, as in lawsuits, right? And so while this thing continues to take a turn for the worst, and the more lawsuits, the longer this process is going to take. Okay? The only way I see this being shorter is if he's found guilty pretty close to right away, and then he has to start settling with people left and right, and he's not going to have any money left over at that point when it's all said and done. But I know that we've talked about this in the past, and people have mentioned this in the past that, well, wait a minute, all these women and they didn't go to the cops, right? A lot of people have said that, and they question that. And I think I've told you guys already yesterday that don't ever question that, because there are women and kids all over this world that have been sexually assaulted, and they tell nobody, and they live with it. And they live with it because they're ashamed. They live with it because they don't want to talk about it publicly. They don't want people to know. It puts people in an extremely uncomfortable position. And then if you're a woman and you want to go after somebody that's public, then they go after you for going after that person. And they criticize you for going after that person because they're fans of that person. And they don't believe that that person could be, could possibly do something like this. So in comes Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone speaking candidly about her decision now to come forward with details about her sexual abuse. While chatting with the New York Times for a recent interview, the 63-year-old actress discussed her forthcoming memoir, The Beauty of Living Twice, and how she recalled horrible memories from her past for the book, including a time when she and her sister Kelly were sexually abused by a grandfather when they were younger. Detailing that she and her sibling made the decision together to reveal the abuse in her memoir, Stone told the outlet, "We spoke to my mother, and at first she was very stoic and wrote me a letter about how disconcerting all this information was. She was horrified. I don't really want to talk about it directly, the kind of thing. Then my sister got loaded when my mom was staying with her and really went for it with my mom. And my mom had a major breakthrough. When I finished the book, I read it to my mother over a 3-day period. And I had a flu at the time. I was in bed, and she got in bed with me as I finished the book. Then I recorded an hour and a half of her talking, and she added, and then I rewrote a lot of the book. That's when I dedicated the book to her." 63 years. Now, I don't know when it happened early in her childhood, so she's easily kept it quiet for 50-plus years. That's Sharon Stone. And obviously, if she was going to reveal it, then her sister was also going to get exposed, so she had to talk to her sister about it. And now they've written about it. Do you know how many people are walking around who have been sexually abused and never said anything about it and took it to their grave? So don't ever assume that because they didn't go to the cops, they weren't sexually abused. It's a very difficult position to be put in for a woman, for a child, and we should never assume that they're lying because they didn't go to the police, because they didn't go after the person. They could fear the person. They could fear the public shame. They could fear social media. There's a lot of things to fear nowadays. Just a little food for thought for those of you out there. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Very interesting decision by an NFL player, and I'm going to give you an interesting stat that goes along with that decision. Also, we got to talk about somebody that is a perfect example for many, many people out there. Some of you might take it personal, but I'm only meaning it in a silly way. But we'll talk about that when we come back right here on OnsideRadio.com.
Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit moretoadhd.com for additional information. That's moretoadhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, you missed.
What?
Blatantly
So they'd be
obvious.
like Sauron.
You are not. No, you're not. You're not jumping to Hobbit. You're not jumping to Lord of the Rings.
Why?
No, because you're not. You're not jumping from Marvel to Lord of the Rings.
There are
no,
there
no.
aren't any Marvel movies that even touch Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm serious, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch. Yeah, you're right. Iron Man isn't better than a 19-hour-long 3-part Hobbit.
So Iron Man is your favorite Marvel one?
No, I just threw it out there. There's 23 of them or 26 of them for crying out loud. Thor Ragnarok. Watch that one.
I thought they're all Thor
Oh my
Thor
God.
Ragnarok.
No, Thor Ragnarok is an actual Thor movie. It's the 3rd Thor movie. I hate you.
4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Heat making a trade right before the deadline, acquiring Nemanja Bjelica from the Kings. In the trade, the Heat send over Mo Harkless and Chris Silva. Bjelica is with the Heat averaging nearly 12 points and is currently shooting 32% from the three-point line as a power forward. Heat still monitoring the Kyle Lowry situation. Less than 20 minutes before the deadline passes, Heat and Lakers reportedly the two teams in talks with Toronto. Florida Panthers back on the ice tonight. They take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Puck drop slated for 8 p.m. Alexander Barkov still day-to-day, according to Coach Q. And Miami Dolphins still lining up some signings yesterday, signing a Landon Roberts, the linebacker. With your Onside Sports Update, I'm Tito Bonacci. Coming up next, it's more of the Onside Zone with the Big O right here, OnsideRadio.com.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
We are monitoring that trading deadline. We're wondering what's going to go on. Heat Lakers are trying to get Kyle Lowry. We'll see what happens.
How are the Lakers not giving up Talen Horton-Tucker?
They must like him, dude. Maybe they don't have a lot of future, and this is one guy they like. If you watch him, he's not a bad player, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I just think for a starting point guard like Lowry and for a team that's going to be in the finals conversation for the next 3 years, makes sense.
No, I mean, you're playing for now, dude. So, yeah, although maybe they feel he can help them now. Now, here's a guy that could help a lot of teams now, and his name is T.Y. Hilton. And obviously he's wrapping up his fantastic NFL career out of FIU, Golden Panthers. Greatest NFL player to come out of FIU right now, right? There's no other, right? I mean, Jonnu Smith has done a really good job so far, but he's not T.Y. Hilton. So T.Y. went back to the Colts. And did you know that T.Y. Hilton had a better offer, Tito? Do you know who had –
the Ravens.
Ravens offered him a 3-year deal. A 3-year deal, but yet he chose a shorter and lesser deal with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I did a little homework, Tito. If you're a wide receiver, let me ask you something. Why would you go to the Ravens? Huh, Tito?
I mean, I wouldn't unless I'm just interested in the paycheck.
Did you know this? Did you know that in the 3 years that Lamar Jackson has been their quarterback, they do not have a receiver that has ever crossed 900 yards?
Yeah, that adds up, yeah.
So think about that, okay? Just think about that. You can't put in incentives because you'll never hit them because you got a limited quarterback. You know what I mean? People can argue with me all you want, okay? Dude's not a passer. He's an athlete with the ball in his hands. And he's never been – and you've seen what's happened to him now lately, and especially in the playoffs, the tent folds because he gets exposed. Let's make Lamar beat you with the arm. Can't do it. He can't hit us. He can't hit a target that's just standing still, much less an NFL player. And so it's interesting that if you're the Ravens, you have to now overpay to lure somebody to play with your quarterback. Well, Lamar's a fantastic young man. He's a freak athlete. And when the running game is working, they've got it going on. It helps. But because you're one-dimensional and you can't get the passing game going, you're very predictable, too, at the same time. So, yeah, when you run into those teams that can't get physical with you and can't punch you in the mouth and shut your run down, you will have a great chance to win that game. But once you run into the better teams, and especially in the playoffs, that they can play defense and they can punch you in the mouth and slow down one phase of your game, running, passing, whatever it is, this is what happens. So I found it interesting, and I went back to look at the 3 years, and no 1,000-yard receiver. And then I looked again, no 900-yard receiver. Good luck. I mean, they've done a good job with the kid already as it is to do what they've done. But at one point or another, you either got to, cut bait or realize that you're limited. And your team has to be so see, when you won with Trent Dilfer and when you won with Brad Johnson and kind of Peyton Manning, they at least could pass the ball and make some plays for you. But if you got a kid that gets put in a position where he has to beat you with his arm and he can't, it's a major problem. Hey, listen, Rondo gets traded to the Clippers for Lou Williams. There you go. So this is one where, down the line, I think they're going to have to make some kind of a decision at one point or another. And here's the other thing. Have they signed him to an extension yet? No, right?
No, they were very far apart on their contract negotiations.
Yeah, I would never sign that kid to an extension because then I would be married to that one-dimensional offense. And to me, that one-dimensional, your team has to be so freaking dominant in order to win a Super Bowl. It's not like you can't. You can listen, man. If Peyton Manning can win a Super Bowl, any quarterback in history can win. You can win a Super Bowl with Bubby Brister if you can win one with that Peyton Manning that was absolute garbage a couple of years ago. I mean, that guy's arm was ragged crap at that point. It was a shell of what it used to be. The other thing that I want to talk about, and just a congratulations, and for you Dolphin fans out there that are ultra sensitive, you may want to turn off the radio. You may want to turn it off on YouTube because I'm going to thank a Patriot. Justin Herron, the offensive lineman for the Patriots, ended up stopping a sexual assault at a park. Okay? Patriots offensive lineman Justin Herron was heralded as a hero on Wednesday after cops say he helped stop a sexual assault at a park in Arizona over the weekend. The story's terrifying. Herron was walking around Kiwanis Park at 11 a.m. Saturday in Tempe when all of a sudden he heard screams coming from the middle of the field. Herron says he approached the scene. He saw a man on top of a woman and acted quickly. I just knew that in that moment I had to put a stop to it, said the 25-year-old, 6'5", 305, in Arizona training after wrapping up his rookie season. And as he screamed at the man to get off before he physically pulled the guy away from the woman, then I told him to sit down, who cops say was also joined by another Good Samaritan, Murray Rogers, in putting a stop to the alleged crime, and he just sat down and waited. When a 6'5", 305-pound dude says, "You sit there." It's just like, yeah, I'm not moving.
Okay.
The victim, police say, was a 71-year-old who Caballero had pushed to the ground and attempted to sexually assault. The suspect was 30 years old. This 30-year-old sick bastard was on top of a 70-year-old woman. And I got to tell you, Justin Herron, I am going to cheer for you for the rest of my life, except for the 2 games when you play against the Dolphins. I hope you allow 7 sacks. I'm sorry about that, but, what can I do, bro? You're playing the Dolphins. But I got to tell you, you're a stud, bro. You're a stud. You stepped in. That's what a great American does. That's what we do. We fight for those who can't fight for themselves. That's what Americans do. So, great job by Justin Herron, man. That, my friends, is what you call a real hero, and a man that we need more Justin Herrons in this world. Put it that way. Again, Justin, you must allow 7 sacks against the Dolphins in every matchup. Okay? All right? That's all I'm saying. I love you. I'm glad you're an American. I'm glad you saved that woman. You're a stud, bro. You're a hero. Just make sure you allow 14 sacks this year in the 2 games against the Dolphins. Outside of that, you can have 363 other great days in the year. But there's got to be 2 days where you just are going to feel a little bit like shit, and those are the days you play the Dolphins. Outside of that, congrats to you, my man. Awesome stuff there. That is an example for all of us. So far, Tito, we're going to take a break now. We got 11 minutes left for the deadline. Although sometimes there's a deal that's agreed upon. It's sent in at 2:58, and then they announce it like at 3:15 or 3:30.
Apparently, per Brian Windhorst, Toronto is collecting all of the final offers and will make a decision soon. This feels like last call at the bar, right?
Right, yeah. It's probably what it is. It's probably, hey, send in your best offer. We're trading him right now. The best offer gets him. Well, no, nothing personal, just best offer. All right, we'll do this. When we come back on the other side, we'll talk to Alex Dono. We'll wrap it up here, and we'll get ready for the top of the hour for the man of the match with Alex Dono.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability. Reputation and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
If you missed Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard, then you missed this.
Beckham and Moss made it seem like it was the most important thing in the world that they had to talk about the academy and bringing up players from the academy to play for Inter Miami. And well, they've not only done it, they've now done it in abundance. First, it was Felipe Valencia. And in a question asked about Felipe Valencia, David Beckham specifically mentioned another name in Ian Frey. This was now, in hindsight, a complete foreshadowing of what was to come this week, because Ian Frey has now signed as a first-team player for Inter Miami. Ian Frey also signed alongside his former teammate from Fort Lauderdale CF, Edison Ascona.
Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard every Saturday 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
At Baptist Health, we are ready.
To serve. To treat.
To safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons.
Advanced medicine.
And multidisciplinary teams.
We're ready for new arrivals.
And new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Yes, welcome back, folks. We thank Kurt Heelan and Thor Nystrom for joining us on the program. Excellent segments by them. If you missed them, go back and check it out, obviously, because everything is podcasted. Everything is sliced and diced. Our producers are also Ginsu chefs when it comes to audio, and that's exactly what they do with our audio. They slice it and dice it, so that way it's all a la carte for all of you out there, which is a beautiful thing. You know what's also beautiful? That Alex Dono and the man of the match are next. They will carry you till 6 o'clock. So, Dono, how was your swim in the canals?
You know, I texted you when you were talking about swimming in canals and people fishing in canals. My parents live on a canal, you know, the same house that I grew up in. And when I was like 10 or 11 years old, I would fish on the canal. And I catch one day this pretty gigantic peacock bass. And so my dad cooked it up for us, and it tasted like Chernobyl. Like, we all took one bite, and it was not like any – and this is out in the suburbs. This is not like a disgusting canal in the middle of a city. Like, this is a pretty clean-looking canal.
I'm telling
and
you,
it was
dude.
still gross.
I'm surprised you don't have a third ear or something, bro.
Oh, I'm
surprised-
radioactive.
You probably, you probably glow in the dark, don't
Oh,
you?
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I'm a
Well, that's
superhero.
actually pretty good, because when you wake up in the middle of the night to go take a leak, you don't need a light or anything.
No, I don't.
You just light yourself all the way
You
over
know,
to the
power
bathroom.
goes out. I've got a built-in flashlight.
Yeah, exactly. Although your wife must be pissed because you're always lighting up everywhere, so there's no darkness wherever you guys
fair.
are going. So
That's fair.
So that's a tough one. All right, what do you got going on today, dude?
Well, we're going to be monitoring the final seconds, the final countdown.
It says the Kyle Lowry watch continues is what it says on the television.
By the way,
we've got 3 minutes.
You hit the nail on the head. This is going to be one of those things
It'll be on your show.
Yeah, but it's like, so obviously something officially has to happen in the next 3.5 minutes.
The trade will be in, but the NBA has to approve it.
We're not
and
going to
then
necessarily know until 3:10, 3:15.
We will know, because all we
Right.
have to do is listen to the man of the match.
Exactly. Oh, see, there you go.
And the man of the match will provide us the information we need here on Onside Radio to know if Miami landed Kyle Lowry or not. Will you be disappointed if they do or don't?
A little bit, yeah. It's going to depend on what they would have had to give up, though. Like if we find out it would have had to have been like a really big package that includes Tyler Hero, I could sleep better at night. But if it could have been a deal centered around Duncan Robinson, we couldn't get it done, then yeah, I'll be disappointed.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And so, yeah, in addition to Trade Talk, we're going to have on Kyle Krabs from Dolphins Wire and the Draft Network to talk some Finns. We're going to have Jameson Olive on to talk some Panthers hockey. The Cats are back in action tonight. No Barkov again today, unfortunately. And we're going to talk some a lot of people know this guy from covering the Miami Dolphins up until a couple of years ago, but James Walker from ESPN is going to join me to preview UFC 260. He covers mixed martial arts now, so we're going to talk with James later in the show today.
Good dude, bro.
Really good dude.
James, I got to know him when he was obviously with covering the Dolphins for ESPN. And then hung out a little bit with him in the Senior Bowl. He went to the Senior Bowl a couple of years ago, and that's when he had started in a new direction. It wasn't last year's Senior Bowl because I wasn't there. It was the year before,
Yeah, it
I
was the
think
year
it was.
before, yeah.
When I saw him there. So say hi to him for me.
I will.
Stay tuned, folks. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, all of you, for smashing that like button. Make sure you rate, subscribe any of our podcasts, not just me, but all the other shows here on Onside Radio. And don't forget on YouTube, when Dono's video kicks in, make sure you smash the like button. The more likes we get, the more it gets spread out to other people out there, folks. The algorithm. It's all about affecting the algorithm. So smash that like button. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Tito, great work by you.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
it is. It is Deadline Dono here on OnsideRadio.com. We are broadcasting live here in Man of the Match on Onside Radio inside of Inter Miami CF Stadium. The glorious pink, black, gray, and white seats are calling my name as we are only like 3 weeks away from some live football. April 18th is when Inter Miami are going to open up their season against Los Angeles Galaxy. Of course, we're monitoring the trade deadline, which is officially done. We're trying to collect the pieces now. We're trying to figure out if or where Kyle Lowry is moving. Man, you guys can interact with us in so many different ways. 844-416-8123 on the station text line. That's 844-416-8123. We're getting the YouTube live stream fired up here in a second. We always have to stop it and restart it for every new show.